Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Southwest Shakespeare Director's Choice, the first of hopefully many months of shows for you. This is for our core company members, as you are. So each director was given their choice of plays or musicals. I chose Women Beware Women, which is a play I am madly in love with, and I was really excited to take on the challenge of telling this through a different medium, which is this virtual theater world. And we decided to do it not as a reading or as a staged reading or as a recorded reading, because I wanted to kind of explore blocking in this world, editing in this world, sound effects, and how do we make the live theater kind of come through on way a lot of screens and thousands of miles away. So we have actors in California, in Illinois, in New York, and in Arizona, and in India. So actors from all over the world trying to put together this play that is almost 500 years old now. So that is our challenge. That was our challenge. My thanks incredibly to Emmy, who has been my right-hand help and driver of all things technical during this. Thank you very much. I literally couldn't have done this without you. I mean, I probably could have, but this would be October by the time it got done. So thank you. And to the cast, which thank you for your patience in all of this as we all learn how to do this, for your help. As I've said many, many times, theater is a team sport, and I had a really, really good team. So thank you to the cast as well. To the people watching, thank you for supporting and watching and doing this and being part of this core group of artists that is continuing to make art right now in this very interesting world of ours. I am very grateful to be a part of it and to be able to kind of bring our vision of this play to you. So I look forward to seeing you at the talkback, and without further ado, as they want to say in the theater, I give you our production of Women Beware Women. Enjoy.
Thy sight was never yet more precious to me. Welcome with all the affection of a mother that comfort can express from natural love. Since thy birth joy a mother's deepest gladness. After she has undergone her curse of sorrows, thou wast not more dear to me than this hour presents thee to my heart. Oh, welcome again.
Alas, poor affectionate soul, how her joys speak to me. I have observed it often, and I know it is the fortune commonly of knavish children to have the lovingest mothers.
What is this gentlewoman?
Oh, you have named the most unvalued purchase that youth of man hath ever knowledge of. As often as I look upon that treasure and know it to be mine, oh, you have named the most unvalued purchase that youth of man had ever knowledge of. As often as I look upon that treasure and know it to be mine, there lies the blessing. It joys me that I ever was ordained to have a being and to live amongst men, which is a fearful living and a poor one. Let a man think on't. To have the toil and griefs of fourscore years, put up in a white sheet, tied with knots. Methinks it should strike earthquakes in adulterers when in the very sheets they commit sin in may prove, for aught they know, all their last garments. Oh, what a mark there for women then! But beauty, able to content a conqueror, whom earth could scarce content, keeps me in compass. I find no wish in me bent sinfully to this man's sister or that man's wife. In love's name, let them keep their honesties and cleave to their own husbands. 'Tis their duties. Now, when I go to church, I can pray handsomely, not come like gallants only to see faces, as if lust went to market still on Sundays. I must confess, I am guilty of one sin, mother, more than I brought into the world with me, but that I glory in. 'Tis theft, but noble, as ever greatness yet shut up withal.
How's that?
Never to be repented, mother. Though sin be death, I had died if I had not sinned. And here's my masterpiece. Do you now behold her? Look on her well. She's mine. Look on her better. Is now safe, if not be the best piece of theft that ever was committed. And I have my pardon for it. 'Tis sealed from heaven by marriage.
Oh. Married to her?
You must keep counsel, mother. I am undone else. If it be known, I have lost her. Do but think now what that loss is. Life's but a trifle to it. From Venice, her consent, and I have brought her, from parents great in wealth. The more now enraged, but let storms spend their furies. Now we have got a shelter o'er our quiet, innocent loves. We are contented. Little money she has brought me. View but her face, you may see all her dowry. Save that which lies locked up in hidden virtues, like jewels kept in cabinets.
You are to blame. If your obedience will give way to a check to wrong such a perfection.
How?
Such a creature to draw her from her fortune, which no doubt at the full time might have proved rich and noble. You know not what you have done. My life can give you but little helps, and my death lesser hopes. And hitherto your own means has but made shift to keep you single, and that hardly too. What ableness have you to do her right then in maintenance fitting her birth and virtues? Which every woman of necessity looks for, and most go above it, not confined by their conditions, virtues, bloods, or births, but flowing to affections, wills, and humors.
Speak low, sweet mother. You are able to spoil as many as come within hearing. If it be not your fortune to mar all, I have much marvel. I pray do not teach her to rebel when she's in a good way to obedience, to rise with other women in commotion against their husbands for 6 gowns a year, and so maintain their cause, when they're once up in all things else that require cost enough. They're all of them a kind of spirit soon raised, but not so soon laid, mother. If you can but rest quiet, she's contented with all conditions that my fortunes bring her to keep close as a wife that loves her husband, to go after the rate of my ability, not the licentious swindage of her own will, like some of her old schoolfellows. She intends to take out other works in a new sampler, and frame the fashion of an honest love which knows no wants. Good mother, make not you things worse than they are, out of your too much openness. Pray take heed on't, nor imitate the envy of old people that strive to mar good sport, because they are perfect. I would have you more pitiful to youth, especially to your own flesh and blood. I'll prove an excellent husband. Here's my hand. Lay in provision, follow my business roundly, and make you a grandmother in 40 weeks. Go, pray salute her. Bid her welcome cheerfully.
Gentlewoman, thus much as a debt of courtesy, which fashionable strangers pay to each other at a kind meeting. There's one more than due to the knowledge I have of your nearness. I am bold to come again. And now salute you by the name of daughter, which may challenge more than ordinary respect.
Why, this is well now, and I think few mothers of 80 will mend it.
What I can bid you welcome to is mean, but make it all your own. We are full of wants and cannot welcome worth.
Now this is scurvy, and spake as if a woman lacked her teeth. These old folks talk of nothing but defects, because they grow so full of them themselves.
Kind mother, there's nothing can be wanting to her that does enjoy all her desires. Heaven send a quiet peace with this man's love, and I am as rich as virtue can be poor, which were enough after the rate of mind to erect temples for content place here. I have forsook friends, fortune, and my country, and hourly I rejoice in it. Here's my friends, and few is the good number. Thy successes, however they look, I will still name my fortunes, hopeful or spiteful. They shall all be welcome who invites many guests, has of all sorts, as he that traffics much, drinks of all fortunes, yet they must all be welcome and used well. I call this place the place of my birth now, and rightly too, for here my love was born, and that's the birthday of a woman's joys. You have not bid me welcome since I came.
That I did questionless.
Well, sure. How was it? I have quite forgot it.
Thus?
Oh, sir, 'tis true. Now I remember well. I have done thee wrong. Pray, take it again, sir.
How many of these wrongs could I put up in an hour? And turn the glass for twice as many more.
Will you please, would please you to walk in, daughter?
Thanks, sweet mother. The voice of her that bare me is not more pleasing.
And my rich master's trusts lay their commands on both my factorship. This day and night I'll know no other business but her and her dear welcome. 'Tis a bitterness to think upon tomorrow, that I must leave her still to the sweet hopes of the week's end, that pleasure should be so restrained and curbed after the course of a rich workmaster that never pays till Saturday night. Marry, it comes together in a round sum then, and does more good, you'll say. No, fair-eyed Florence, didst thou but know what a most matchless jewel thou now art mistress of, a pride would take thee, able to shoot destruction through the bloods of all thy youthful sons. But it's a great policy to keep choice treasures in obscurest places. Should we show thieves our wealth, 'twould make 'em bolder. Temptation is a devil that will not stick to fashion upon a saint. Take heed of that. The jewel is cased up from all men's eyes. Who could imagine now a gem is kept of such great value under this plain roof? But how in times of absence? What assurance of this restraint, then? Yes, there's one with her. Old mothers know the world, and such as these, when sons' lock chests are good to look to keys.
What? Has your daughter seen him yet? Know you that?
No matter, she shall love him.
Nay, let's have fair play. He has been my ward now some 15 year, and 'tis my purpose, as time calls upon me, by custom seconded, and such moral virtues to tender him a wife. Now, sir, this wife I'd fain elect out of a daughter of yours. You see my meaning's fair. If now this daughter so tendered, let me come to your own phrase, sir, should offer to refuse him, I were handselled. Thus am I fain to calculate all my words for the meridian of a foolish old man, to take his understanding. What do you answer, sir?
I say still, she shall love him.
Yet again, and shall she have no reason for this love?
Why, do you think that women love with reason?
Perceive, fools are not at all hours foolish, no more than wise men wise.
I had a wife. She ran mad for me. She had no reason for it, for aught I could perceive. What think you, lady sister?
'Twas a fit match that, being both out of their wits. A loving wife, it seemed she strove to come as near you as she could.
And if her daughter prove not mad for love too, she takes not after her, nor after me, if she prefer reason before my pleasure. You're an experienced widow, lady sister. I pray you let your opinion come amongst us.
I must offend you then, if truth will do it, and take my niece's part, and call it injustice to force her to love one she never saw. Maids should both see and like, all little enough if they truly love after that as well. Counting the time she takes one man till death, that's a hard task, I tell you. But one may inquire at 3 years' end amongst young wives, and mark how the game goes.
Why, is not man tied to the same observance, lady sister, and in one woman?
'Tis enough for him. Besides, He tastes of many sundry dishes that we poor wretches never lay our lips to, as obedience forsooth, subjection, duty, and such kickshaws, all of our making, but served into them. And if we lick a finger, then sometimes we are not to blame. Your best cooks use it.
Thou art a sweet lady, sister, and a witty one.
Oh, witty! Oh, the bond of commendation fit for a girl of 16. I am blown, man. I should be wise by this time. And, for instance, I have buried my 2 husbands in good fashion, and never mean to marry more.
Nay, why so, lady?
Because the 3rd shall never bury me. I think I am more than witty. How think you, sir?
I have paid often fees to a counselor had a weaker brain.
Then I must tell you your money was soon parted.
Light her now, brother.
Where is my niece? Let her be sent for straight. If you have any hope to approve a wedding, 'tis fit in faith she should have one sight of him, and stop upon it, and not be joined in haste as if they went to stock a new-found land.
Look out her uncle, and you're sure of her. Those 2 are never asunder. They're like a chain. Draw but one link, all follows.
Oh, affinity! What piece of excellent workmanship art thou! 'Tis work clean wrought, for there's no lust but love in't, and that abundantly. When in stranger things there is no love at all, but what lust brings.
On with your mask, for 'tis your part to see and not be seen. Go to, make use of your time. See what you mean to like, nay, and I charge you, like what you see. Do you hear me? There's no dallying. This gentleman's almost 20, and 'tis time he were getting lawful heirs, and you a breeding on 'em.
Good father.
Tell me not of tongues and rumors. You'll say the gentleman is somewhat simple. The better for a husband were you wise, for those that marry fools live ladies' lives. On with the mask, I'll hear no more. He's rich, the fool's hid under bushels.
Not so hid, neither. But here's a foul great piece of him, methinks. What will he be when he comes all together?
Beaten? I've been out of the field with his own casket. Give him the first hand.
Oh, strange.
I did it. And then he said Jack's on me.
What, my lady's tailor?
Aye, and I beat him too.
Nay, that's no wonder. He's used to beating.
Hey, I tickled him when I came once to my tippings.
Now you talk on him. There was a poulterer's wife made a great complaint of you last night to your gardener, that you struck a bump in her child's head as big as an egg.
And had me approve a chicken then in time. The porter's wife will get by it. When I'm in game, I am furious. Can my mother's eyes in my way, I would not lose a fair end. No, were she alive, but with one tooth in her head, I should venture striking out of that. I have nobody when I'm in play. I'm so earnest. Quotes me, my gardener, prithee. Lay up my cat and castic safe.
Where, sir? In the chimney corner?
Chimney corner.
Yes, sir. Your cats are always safe in the chimney corner. Unless they burn their coats.
Oh, Mary, that I'm afraid of.
Why, then I will bestow your cat at the gutter, and there she's safe, I'm sure.
If I would live to keep a house, I would make thee a great woman. If meat and drink can do it, or I can stoop gallantly and pitch out when I list and dog at a hole. My gardener does not seek a wife for me. I protest I'll have a bout with the maidens, or contract myself at midnight to a larder woman in presence of a fool or a sack posset.
Ward!
I feel myself after any exercise horribly prone. Let me but ride. I'm lusty, a cock horse, straight in faith.
Why, Ward, I say.
I'll force eating eggs in moonshine nights. There's never a one I eat, but turns into a cock in 24 hours. If my hot blood be not took down, I'm sure it will grow shortly.
Do you hear, sir? Follow me. I must new school you.
School me. I started that now. I'm past schooling. I'm not so base to love to read and write. I was born to a better fortune in my cradle.
How do you like him, girl? Hmm? This is your husband. Like him or not, whence you shall have him, and you shall love him.
Oh, soft there, brother. Though you be a justice, your warrant cannot be served out of your liberty. You may compel out of the power of father things merely harsh to a man's flesh and blood, but when you come to love, there the soil alters. You're in another country where your laws are no more set by than the cacklings of geese in Rome's great capital.
Marry him she shall then. Let her agree upon love afterwards.
You speak now, brother, like an honest mortal that walks upon the earth with a staff. You are up at the clouds before you to command love, and so do most old folks that go without it. My best and dearest brother, I could dwell here. There is not such another seat on earth where all good parts better express themselves.
You'll make me blush anon.
'Tis but like saying grace before a feast, then, and that's most comely. Thou art all a feast, and she that has thee a most happy guest. For thee, cheer up that niece with special counsel.
I would 'twere fit to speak to her what I would, but 'twas not a thing ordained. Heaven has forbid it, and 'tis most meet that I should rather perish than the decree divine receive least blemish. Feel inward you my sorrows, make no noise, consume me silent, let me be stark dead ere the world know I'm sick. You see me honestly if you befriend me so.
Marry a fool!
Ah!
Can there be greater misery to a woman that means to keep her days true to her husband and know no other man? So virtue wills it. Why, how can I obey and honor him, but I must needs commit idolatry? A fool is but the image of a man, and that but ill-made neither. Oh, the heartbreaking of miserable maids where love's enforced. The best condition is but bad enough. When women have their choices, commonly we do but buy their thraldoms and bring great portions to men to keep them in subjection, as if a fearful prisoner should bribe the keeper to be good to him, yet lies and still, glad to be of a good usage. A good look sometimes by her lady. No misery surmounts a woman's. Men buy their slaves, but women buy their masters. Yet honesty and love makes all this happy, and next to angels the most blessed estate. Oh, but this marriage! What, are you sad too, uncle? Faith, and there's a whole household down together. Where shall I go to seek my comforts now when my best friend's distressed? What is that afflicts you, sir?
Faith, nothing, but one grief that it will not leave me. And now 'tis welcome. Every man has something to bring him to his end, and this will serve, joined with your father's cruelty to you that helps it forward.
Oh, be cheered, sweet uncle! How long has it been upon you? I ne'er spied it. Have I? How long, I pray, sir?
Since I first saw you, niece, and left Bologna.
And could you deal so unkindly with my heart to keep it up so long hid from my pity? Alas, how shall I trust your love hereafter? Have we passed through so many arguments and missed of that still the most needful one? Walked out whole nights together in discourses, and the main point forgot? No, we are both to blame. This is an obstinate, willful forgetfulness, and a faulty on both parts. Well, let's waste no time now. Begin, good uncle, you that feel it. What is it?
You, of all creatures, niece, must never hear on't. 'Tis not a thing ordained for you to know.
Not I, sir. Well, all my joys that word cuts off. You made profession once. You loved me best. 'Twas but profession.
Yes, I do truly, and fear I shall be chid for it. Know the worst then. I love thee dearlier than an uncle can.
Why, so you ever said, and I believed it.
So simple is the goodness of her thoughts, they understand not yet the unhallowed language of a near sinner. I must yet be forced, though blushes be my venture, to come nearer. As a man loves a wife, so I love thee.
What's that? Methought I heard ill news come toward me that commonly we understand too soon than over quick at hearing. I'll prevent it, though my joys they're the harder. Welcome it. It shall ne'er come so near mine ear again. Farewell, all friendly solaces and discourses. I'll learn to live without ye, for your dangers are greater than your comforts. What's to become of truth and love if such we cannot trust when blood that should be love is mixed with lust?
The worst can be but death, and let it come. He that lives joyless airy days, his doom.
Methinks I'm even as dull now at departure as men observe great gallants the next day after a revels. You shall see him look much of my fashion. If you mark him well, 'tis e'en the second hell to part from pleasure when man has got a smack hunt. As many holidays come together make you your poor heads idle a great while after, then are said to stick fast in their fingers' ends. Yeah, he and so does game in a new married couple for the time. It spoils all thrift, and indeed lies abed to invent all the new ways for great expenses. See, and she be not got on purpose now into the window to look after me. I have no power to go now, and I should be hanged. Farewell to all business. I desire no more than I see yonder. Let the goods at Key look at them to themselves. Why should I toil my youth out? It is but begging 2 or 3 years sooner and stay with her continually. Is to match. Oh, fie, what a religion have I leapt into.
I perceive, sir, you're not gone yet. I have good hope you'll stay now.
Farewell, I must not.
Come, come, pray return tomorrow. Adding but a little care more will dispatch all as well. Believe me, 'twill, sir.
I could well wish myself where you would have me, but love that's wanton must be ruled a while by that's careful, or all goes to ruin. As fitting is a government in love, as in a kingdom, where 'tis all mere lust. 'Tis like an insurrection in a people that raised in self-will, wars against all reason. But love that is respective for increase is like a good king that keeps all peace. Once more, farewell.
But this one night, I prithee.
Alas, I'm in for 20 if I stay, then for 40 more. I have such luck to flesh. I have never bought a horse, but he bore double. If I stay any longer, I shall turn an everlasting spendthrift. As you love to be maintained well, do not call me again, for I shall not care which end goes forward. Again, farewell to thee.
Since it must, farewell too.
Faith, daughter, you are to blame. You take the course to make him an ill husband, troth you do. And that disease is catching, I can tell you. Aye, and soon taken by a young man's blood, and that with little urging. Nay, fie, see now, what cause have you to weep? What I had no more that have lived 80 years, there were a cause, and 'twere well thought on. Trust me, you're to blame. His absence cannot last 5 days at utmost. Oh, why should those tears be fetched forth? Cannot love be an e'en as well expressed in a good look? But it must see her face still in a fountain. Shows like a country maid dressing her head by a dish of water. Come, 'tis an old custom to weep for love.
What's the meaning of this hurry? Can you tell, Mother?
Oh, what a memory have I! I see by that years come upon me. Why, 'tis a yearly custom and solemnity, religiously observed by the Duke and the State to St. Mark's Temple, the 15th of April. See, if all my dull brains had not quite forgot it. 'Twas happily questioned of thee, I had gone down else. Sat like a drone below, and ne'er thought on it. I would not be 10 years younger again that you had lost the sight. Now you shall see our Duke, a goodly gentleman of his years.
Is he old then?
About some 55.
That's no great aged man. He's then at best for wisdom and for judgment.
The Lord Cardinal, his noble brother. There's a comely gentleman, and greater in devotion than in blood.
He's worthy to be marked.
You shall behold all our chief estates of Florence. You came fortunately against the solemn day.
I hope so always.
How like you, daughter?
'Tis a noble state. Methinks my soul could dwell upon the reverence of such a solemn and worthy custom. Did not the Duke look up? Methought he saw us.
That's everyone's conceit that sees the Duke. If he looks steadfastly, he looks straight at them, when he perhaps, good careful gentleman, never minds any. But the look he casts is at his own intentions, and his object is only the public good.
Most likely so.
Come, we'll end this argument below.
A strange affection, brother, when I think on it. I wonder how thou camest by it.
E'en as easily as man comes by destruction, which oft times he wears in his own bosom.
Is the world so populous in women and creation, so prodigal in beauty and so various, yet does love turn thy point to thine own blood? 'Tis somewhat too unkindly. Must thy eye dwell evilly on the fairness of thy kindred and seek not where it should? It is confined now in a narrower prison than was made for it. It is allowed a stranger, and where bounty is made the great man's honor, 'tis ill husbandry to spare, and servants shall have small thanks for it. So he, heaven's bounty, seems to scorn and mock, that spares free means and spends of his own stock.
Ne'er was man's misery so soon sewed up, counting how truly.
Nay, I love you so, that I shall venture much to keep a change from you, so fearful as this grief will bring upon you. Faith, it even kills me when I see you faint under a reprehension, and I'll leave it, though I know nothing can be better for you. Prithee, sweet brother, let not passion waste the goodness of thy time and of thy fortune. Thou keep'st the treasure of that life I love as dearly as mine own. And if you think my former words too bitter, which were ministered by truth and zeal, 'tis but a hazarding of grace and virtue, and I can bring forth as pleasant fruits as sensuality wishes, and all her teeming longings. This I can do.
Oh, nothing that can make my wishes perfect.
I would that love of yours were pawned to it, brother, and as soon lost that way as I could win. Sir, I could give as shrewd a lift to chastity as any she that wears a tongue in Florence. Should need be a good horsewoman, and sit fast whom my strong argument could not fling at last. Prithee, take courage, man. Though I should counsel another to despair, Yet I am pitiful to thy afflictions, and will venture hard. I will not name for what, 'tis not handsome. Find you the proof, and praise me.
Then I fear me I shall not praise you in haste.
This is the comfort. You are not the first brother has attempted things more forbidden than this seems to be. I'll minister all cordials now to you, because I'll cheer you up, sir.
I am past hope.
Love, thou shalt see me do a strange cure then, as e'er was wrought on a disease so mortal, and near akin to shame. When shall you see her?
Never in comfort more.
You're so impatient too.
Will you believe death? She has forsworn my company and sealed it with a blush.
So I perceive all lies upon my hands then. Well, the more glory when the work's finished. Ah, your niece, the virtuous Isabella, is lighted now to see you. Sir, your stars bless.
What's this to me?
Your absence, gentle brother. I must bestir my wits for you.
Aye, to great purpose.
Shrew you, would I loved you not so well. I'll go to bed and leave this deed undone. I am the fondest where I once affect, the carefullest of their healths, and of their ease, forsooth, that I look still but slenderly on mine own. I take a course to pity him so much now that I have none left for modesty and myself. This 'tis to grow so liberal. You have few sisters that love their brother's ease above their own honesties. But if you question my affections, that will be found my fault. Niece, your love's welcome. Alas, what draws that paleness to thy cheeks? This unforced marriage towards?
It helps, good aunt, amongst some other griefs, but those I'll keep locked up in modest silence, for their sorrows would shame the tongue more than they grieve the thought.
Indeed, the word is simple.
Simple! Why, that were well. Why, one might make good shift with such a husband. But he's a fool entailed. He halts downright in't.
And knowing this, I hope 'tis at your choice to take or refuse these.
You see it is not. I loathe him more than beauty can hate death or age her spiteful neighbor.
Let it appear then.
How can I? Being born with that obedience that must submit unto a father's will, if he command, I must of force consent.
Alas, poor soul, be not offended, prithee, if I set by the name of niece a while and bring in pity in a stranger fashion. It lies here in this breast, would cross this match.
How? Cross it, aunt.
Aye, and give thee more liberty than thou hast reason yet to apprehend.
Oh, sweet aunt and goodness, keep not hid from me what may befriend my life.
Yes, yes, I must. When I return to reputation and think upon the solemn vow I made to your dead mother, my most loving sister, as long as I have her memory twixt mine eyelids, look for no pity now.
No kind, sweet, dear aunt.
No, 'twas a secret I have took special care of, delivered by your mother on her deathbed. That's 9 years now, and I'll not part from it yet. Though ne'er was a fitter time, nor greater cause for it.
As you desire the praises of a virgin, I would be more than happy to give.
Good sorrow, I would do thee any kindness, not wronging secrecy or reputation.
Neither of which, as I have hope of fruitfulness, shall receive wrong from me.
Nay, 'twould be your own wrong, as much as any, should it come to that once.
I need no better means to work persuasion then.
Let it suffice. You may refuse this fool, or you may take him as you see occasion for your advantage. The best wits will do it. You have liberty enough in your own will. You cannot be enforced. There grows the flower, if you could pick it out, makes whole life sweet to you. That which you call your father's commands nothing. Then your obedience must needs be as little. If you can make shift here to taste your happiness, or pick out aught that likes you, much good do you. You see your cheer, I'll make you no set dinner.
And trust me, I may starve for all the good I can find, yet in this sweet aunt, deal plainlier.
Say I should trust you now upon an oath, and give you in a secret that would start you. How am I sure of you in faith and silence?
Equal assurance may I find in mercy, as you for that in me.
It shall suffice. Then know, however custom has made good for reputation's sake, the name, it shall suffice. Then know, however custom has made good for reputation's sake, the names of niece and aunt twixt you and I were nothing less.
How's that?
I told you I should start your blood. You are no more allied to any of us, save what the courtesy of opinion casts upon your mother's memory and your name, than the merest stranger is, or one begot at Naples when the husband lies at Rome. There's so much odds betwixt us. Since your knowledge wished more instruction, and I have your oath and pledge for silence, it makes me talk the freelier. Did never the report of that famed Spaniard Marquis of Coria, since your time was ripe for understanding, fill your ear with wonder?
Yes, what of him? I have heard his deeds of honor often related when we lived in Naples.
You heard the praises of your father, then?
My father?
That was he. But all the business so carefully and so discreetly carried, that fame received no spot by it, not a blemish. Your mother was so wary to her end. None knew it but her conscience and her friend, till penitent confession made it mine, and now my pity yours. It had been long else, and I hope care and love alike in you, made good by oath, will see it take no wrong now. How weak his commands now, whom you call father! How vain all his enforcements, your obedience! And what a largeness in your will and liberty to take or reject or do both! Oh, my wench, nothing o'erthrows our sex but indiscretion. I pray, forget not but to call me aunt still. Take heed of that. It may be marked in time else. But keep your thoughts to yourself from all the world, kindred or dearest friend. Nay, I entreat you from him that all this while you have called uncle. Though you love him dearly, as I know, his deserts claim as much e'en from a stranger. Yet let not him know this, I prithee do not. As ever thou hast hope of second pity, if thou shouldst stand in need on it, do not do it.
Believe my oath, I will not.
Why, well said. Who shows more craft to undo a maidenhead? I'll resign my part to her. Use thine own. Go.
Alas, fair flattery cannot cure my sorrows.
Have I passed so much time in ignorance and never had the means to know myself till this blessed hour? Thanks to her virtuous pity that brought it now to light. Would I had known it but one day sooner, he had been received in favors. What poor gentleman he took in bitter words, slight, and harsh reward for one of his deserts.
There seems to me now more anger and distraction in her looks. I'm gone. I'll not endure a second storm. The memory of the first is not past yet.
Are you returned, you comforts of my life? In this man's presence I will keep you fast now, and sooner part eternally from the world than my good choice in you. Prithee forgive me. I did but chide and jest. The best loves use it sometimes, it sets an edge upon affection. When we invite our best friends to a feast, 'tis not all sweet meats we set before them. There's somewhat sharp and salt, both to whet the appetite and make them taste their wine well.
Oh.
So methinks, after a friendly, sharp and savory chiding, a kiss tastes wondrous well and full of the grape. How thinkest thou, does it not?
Oh, 'tis so excellent. I know not how to praise it, what to say to it.
This marriage shall go forward.
With the ward. Are you in earnest?
It would be ill for us else.
For us? How means she that?
Troth, I begin to be so well, methinks, within this hour. For all this match able to kill one's heart, Nothing can pull me down now should my father provide a worse school yet, which I should think were a hard thing to compass. I'd have him either. The worse the better. None can come amiss now if he want wit enough. So discretion love me, desert and judgment. I have discontent sufficient. She that comes once a day to be a housekeeper must not look every day to farewell, sir, like a young waiting gentlewoman in service, for she feeds commonly as her lady does. No good bit passes her, but she gets a taste on't. But when she comes to keep house for herself, she's glad of a few choice cates then once a week, or twice at most if she can get 'em. So must affection learn to fare with thankfulness. Pray make your love no stranger, sir, that's all. Though you be one yourself, and know not on't, and I have sworn you must not.
This is beyond me. Never came joy so unexpectedly. To meet desires in man, how came she thus? What has she done to carry any tell? 'Tis beyond sorcery, this. Drugs or love powders. Some art that has no name sure, strange to me of all the wonders, e'er met withal throughout my 10 years' travels, but I am thankful for't. This marriage now must of necessity forward. It is the only veil that can devise to keep our acts hidden from sin-piercing eyes.
How, sir? A gentlewoman so young, so fair as you set forth, spied from the widow's window?
See?
Our Sunday dinner woman?
And Thursday supper woman, the same still. I know not how she came by her, but I'll swear she's the prime gallant for a face in Florence. And no doubt other parts follow their leader. The Duke himself first spied her at the window, then in a rapture, as if admiration were poor when it were single, beckoned me and pointed to the wonder warily, as one that feared she would draw in her splendor too soon, if too much gazed at. I ne'er knew him so infinitely taken with a woman, nor can I blame his appetite or tax his raptures of slight folly. She's a creature able to draw a state from serious business and make it their best piece to do her service. What course shall we devise? Has spoke twice now.
Twice?
'Tis beyond your apprehension how strangely that one look has catched his heart. 'Twould prove but too much worth in wealth and favor to those should work his peace.
And if I do not do it, or at least come as near it, if your art will take a little pains and second me, as any wench in Florence of my standing, I'll quite give o'er and shut up shop in cunning.
'Tis for the Duke, and if I fail your purpose, all means to come by riches or advancement, miss me and skip me over.
Let the old woman then be sent for with all speed, then I'll begin.
A good conclusion follow, and a sweet one after this stale beginning with old Ware. Within there!
I long myself to see this absolute creature that wins the heart of love and praise so much.
Go, sir, make haste.
Say I entreat her company. That brings her quickly.
I would 'twere done. The Duke waits the good hour, and I wait the good fortune that may spring from't. I have had a lucky hand these 15 year at such court passage with 3 dice in a dish. Signor Fabrizio!
Oh, dear, I bring an alteration in my mouth now.
An alteration. No wise speech, I hope. He means not to talk wisely, does he, trow? Good. What's the change, I pray, sir?
A new change.
Another yet? Faith, there's enough already.
My daughter loves him now,
What does she, sir?
affects him beyond thought. Who but for the ward, forsooth, no talk of but the ward. She would have him to choose above all the men she ever saw. My will goes not so fast as her consent now. Her duty gets before my command still.
Why then, sir, if you'll have me speak my thoughts, I smell 'twill be a match.
Aye, and a sweet young couple if I have any judgment.
Faith, that's little. Let her be sent tomorrow before noon and handsomely tricked up. For about that time, I mean to bring her in and tender her to him.
I'll be about it straight.
How he sweats in the foolish zeal of fatherhood after 6 ounces an hour and seems to toil as much as if his cares were wise ones.
Ye've let his folly blood in the right vein, lady.
And here comes his sweet son-in-law that shall be. They're both allied in wit before the marriage. What will they be hereafter when they are nearer? Yet they can go no further than the fool. There's the world at end in both of them.
Now, young heir.
What's the next business after shuttlecock now?
Tomorrow you shall see the gentlewoman must be your wife.
There is even another thing too. Must be kept up with a pair of battledores. No, my wife. What can she do?
Nay, that's a question you should ask yourself, Ward, when you're alone together.
Just as I list. What's to be asked anywhere, I hope. I'll ask her in the congregation if I have a mind to it. And so save a license. My gardener has no more wit than a woman that sells away all her herbs and nosegays and keeps a stinking bread for her own pottage.
Let me be the choosing of your beloved, if you desire a woman of a good parts.
Thou shalt, sweet Sorita.
I have a plaguey guess. Let me alone to see what she is. But if I look upon her, I know all the faults to a hair that you may refuse for her.
Dost thou? I prithee let me hear him, Sorita.
Well, Markham, I have 'em all in rhyme. The wife your gardener ought to tender should be pretty, straight, and slender. Her hair not short, her foot not long, her hand not huge, nor too loud her tongue. No pearl in eye, no ruby in her nose, nor no burn, no cut, but what the catalogue shows. She must have teeth, and that no black ones, and kissed most sweet when she does smack once. Her skin must be both white and plump, her body straight, not hopper-rumped, or the wriggle sideways like a crab. She must neither be slut nor drab, nor go too splayfoot with her shoes to make her smock lip up the dews. 2 things more which I forgot to tell ye. She neither must have bump in back nor belly. These are all the faults that will not make her pass.
And if I spy not these, I am a rank ass.
Nay, more by right, sir. You should see her naked, for that's the ancient order.
See her naked? That of good sporting faith. I'll have the books turned over. And if I find her naked on record, she shall not have a rag on. No, stay. How if she should desire to see me so too? I will receive sweet case then. Such a foul skin.
But you have a clean shirt, and that makes amends, sir.
Well, I will not see her naked for that trick, though.
Then take all her faults with her clothes on, and they may hide under a number with a bum roll. Faith, choosing of a wench in a huge farthingale is like buying of ware under a great penthouse. What with the deceit of one and the false blood of the other, like my speech is, he may have a diseased wench in bed and rotten stuff in breeches.
It may take handsomely.
I see small hindrance.
She's come.
That's well. Widow! Come, I have great quarrel to you. Faith, I must chide you, that you must be sent for. You make yourself so strange, never come at us, and yet so near a neighbor and so unkind. Troth, you are to blame. You cannot be more welcome to any house in Florence, that I'll tell you.
My thanks must need acknowledged so much, madam.
How can you be so strange then? I sit here, sometimes whole days together without company, when business draws this fair woman from home, and should be happy in society which I so well affect as that of yours. I know you're alone too. Why should not we, like two kind neighbors, then supply the wants of one another, having tongue discourse, experience in the world, and such kind helps to laugh down time and meet age merely?
You speak mirth. 'Tis at my door, but a long journey from your ladyship yet.
My faith! I'm 39, airy stroke a wench, and 'tis a general observation amongst knights, wives, or widows, we account ourselves then old when young men's eyes leave looking at us. 'Tis a true rule amongst us, and ne'er failed yet in any but in one that I remember. Indeed, she had a friend at 9 and 40. Marry, she paid well for him, and in the end, he kept a keen or two of her own money that robbed her of her plate and cut her throat.
She had her punishment in this world, madam, and a fair warning to all other women that they look chaste at 50.
Aye, or never, wench. Come now, I have thy company. I'll not part with it till after supper.
Yes, I must crave pardon, madam.
I swear you shall stay supper. We have no strangers, woman, none but my sojourners and I, this gentlewoman, and the young heir ward. You know our company.
Some other time, I will make bold with you, madam.
Nay, pray stay, widow.
Faith, she shall not go. Do you think I'll be forsworn?
'Tis a great while till supper time. I'll take my leave then now, madam, and come back in the evening, since your ladyship will have it so.
In the evening, by my troth, wench, I'll keep you while I have you. You have great business, sure, to sit alone at home. I wonder strangely what pleasure you take in it. Were it to me now, I should be ever at one neighbor's house or other all day long, having no charge or none to chide you if you stay or go. Who may live merrier, I or more at heart's ease? Come, will to chess or draughts? There are 100 tricks to drive out time till supper. Never fear, wench.
I'll make but one stop home and return straight, madam.
Come, I'll not trust you. You use more excuses to your kind friends than ever I knew any. What business can you have if you be sure you have locked the doors? One afternoon, so much to spend here. Say I should entreat you now to lie a night or two, or a week with me, or leave your own house for a month together. It were a kindness that long neighborhood and friendship might well hope to prevail in. Would you deny such a request? In faith, speak truth and freely.
I were then uncivil, madam.
Go to then, set your men. We'll have whole nights of mirth together ere we be much older, wench.
As good now to tell her then, for she will know it. I have always found her a most friendly lady.
Why, widow, where's your mind?
Troth, even at home, madam. To tell you the truth, I left a gentlewoman e'en sitting all alone, which is uncomfortable, especially to young bloods.
Another excuse.
No, as I hope for health, madam, that's a truth. Please you send and see.
What gentlewoman, pish!
Wife to my son, indeed, but not known, madam, to any but yourself.
Now I beshrew you. Could you be so unkind to her and me to come and not bring her? Faith, 'tis not friendly.
I feared to be too bold.
Too bold? Oh, what's become of the true hearty love was wont to be amongst neighbors in old time?
And she's a stranger, madam.
The more should be her welcome. When is courtesy in better practice than when 'tis employed in entertaining strangers? I could chide a faith. Leave her behind. Poor gentlewoman, alone too. Make some amends and send for her betimes. Go.
Please you command one of your servants, madam.
With him there.
must be carried wondrously privately from my son's knowledge. He'll break out in storms else. Hark you, sir.
Now comes in the heat of your part.
True. I know it, lady. And if I be out, may the Duke banish me from all employments.
So, have you sent, widow?
Yes, madam. He's almost home by this.
And faith, let me entreat you that henceforward all such unkind faults may be swept from friendship, which does but dim the luster. And think thus much, it is a wrong to me that have ability to bid friends welcome when you keep them from me. You cannot set greater dishonor near me, for bounty is the credit and the glory of those that have enough. I see ye are sorry, and the good men's is made by it.
There she is, madam.
I wonder how she comes to send for me now.
Gentlewoman, y'are most welcome, trust we are, as courtesy can make one, or respect due to the presence of you.
I give you thanks, lady.
I heard you were alone, and had appeared in ill condition in me, though I knew you not, nor never saw you. Yet humanity thinks every case her own. To have kept your company here from you, and left you all solitary, I rather ventured upon boldness then, as the least fault, and wished your presence here. I think most happily motioned of that fair woman.
All my intentions are servants to such mistresses.
'Tis your modesty, it seems, that makes your desert speak so low.
Come, widow, look you, lady, here's our business. Are we not well employed, think you? An old quarrel between us that will never be at an end.
No, and methinks there's men enough to part you, lady.
Oh, but they set us on. Let us come off as well as we can. Poor souls, men can care no further. I pray, sit down forsooth, if you have the patience to look upon two weak and tedious gamesters.
Faith, madam, set these by till evening. You'll have enough on't then. The gentle woman, being a stranger, would take more delight to see your rooms and pictures.
Very good and well remembered. I beseech you, show 'em her. That will beguile time. Pray hardly do. I'll do as much for you. Here, take these keys. Show her the monument too, and that's a thing everyone sees not. You can witness that, widow.
Yeah, and that's worth a sight indeed, madam.
Kind lady, I fear I came to be a trouble to you.
Oh, nothing less, forsooth.
And to this courteous gentlewoman that wears a kindness in her breast so noble and bounteous to the welcome of a stranger.
If you but give acceptance to my service, you do the greatest grace and honor to me that courtesy can merit.
I were to blame else, and out of fashion much. I pray you lead.
After a game or two, war for you, gentlefolks.
We wish no better seconds in society than your discourses, madam, and your partners there.
I thank your praise. I listened to you, madam, though when you spoke, there came a paltry rook full in my way, and chess chokes up all my game.
Alas, poor widow, I shall be too hard for thee.
Yeah, you are cunning at the game. I'll be sworn, madam.
It will be found so, ere you give over. She that can place her man well.
As do you, madam.
As I shall, wench, can never lose her game. Nay, the Black King's mine.
Cry your mercy, madam.
And this, my queen.
I see it now.
Here's a duke. We'll strike a sure stroke for the game anon. Your pawn cannot leave itself.
I know that, madam.
You play well the whilst. How she belies her skill. I hold 2 ducats, I give you check, and mate to your white king. Simplicity itself, your saintish king there.
Well, ere now, lady, I have seen the fall of subtlety. Just on.
Aye, but simplicity receives 2 for 1.
Yeah, what remedy but patience?
Trust me, mine eye ne'er met with fairer ornament.
Nay, livelier, I'm persuaded, neither Florence nor Venice can produce.
My opinion takes your part highly.
There's a better piece yet than all these.
Not possible.
Believe it. You'll say so when you see it. Turn but your eye now. You're upon it presently.
Oh, sir.
He's gone, beauty. Pish! Look not after him. He's but a vapor that when the sun appears is seen no more.
Oh, treachery to honor.
Prithee, tremble not. I see thy breast shaking like a panting turtle under a loving hand that makes much on it. Why art so fearful? As I am friend to brightness, there's nothing but respect and honor near thee. You know me. You have seen me. Here's a heart can witness I have seen thee.
The more's my danger.
There's more thy happiness. Strive not, sweet. The strength were excellent employed in love now, but here 'tis spent amiss. Strive not to seek thy liberty, and keep me still in prison. If faith you shall not out till I'm released now. We'll be both freed together, or stay still by it.
Oh, my lord.
I am not here in vain. Have but the leisure to think on that, and thou'lt soon be resolved. The lifting of thy voice is but like one that does exalt his enemy, who, proving high, lays all the plots to confound him that raised him. Take warning, I beseech thee. Thou seemst to me a creature so composed of gentleness and delicate meekness, such as bless the faces of figures that are drawn from goddesses, and makes art proud to look upon her work. I should be sorry the least force should lay an unkind touch upon thee.
Oh, my extremity! My lord, what seek you?
Love.
'Tis gone already. I have a husband.
That's a single comfort. Take a friend to him.
That's a double mischief, or else there's no religion.
Do not tremble at fears of thine own making.
Nor, great lord, make me not bold with death and deeds of ruin, because they fear not you, me they must fright. Then am I best in health? Should thunder speak, and none regarded it lost the name, and were as good be still. I'm not like those that take their soundest sleeps in greatest tempests. Then wake I most, the weather fearfulest, and call for strength to virtue.
Sure, I think thou know'st the way to please me. I affect a passionate pleading, but an easy yielding, but never pitied any. They deserve none that will not pity me. I can command, think upon that. Yet, if thou truly knewest the infinite pleasure my affection takes in gentle, fair entreatings, when love's businesses are carried courteously twixt heart and heart, you'd make more haste to please me.
Why should you seek, sir, to take away that you can never give?
But I give better in exchange. Wealth, honor. She that is fortunate in a duke's favor lights on trees that bears all woman's wishes. Do not I know? You have cast away your life upon necessities, means merely doubtful to keep you in indifferent health and fashion. I think I heard too lately and soon pitied. And can you be so much your beauty's enemy to kiss away a month or two in wedlock and weep whole years and once forever after? Come, play the wise wench and provide forever. Let storms come when they list. They find thee sheltered. Should any doubt arise, let nothing trouble thee, but trust in our love for the managing of all to thy heart's peace. We'll walk together and show a thankful joy for both our fortunes.
Did not I say my duke would fetch you over, widow?
I think you spoke in earnest when you said it, madam.
And my black king makes all the haste he can do?
Well, madam, we may meet with him in time yet.
I have given thee blind mate twice.
You may see, madam, my eyes begin to fail.
I'll swear they do, wench.
I can but smile as often as I think on't. How prettily the poor fool was beguiled, how unexpectedly. It's a witty age. Never were finer snares for women's honesties than are devised in these days. No spider's web made of a daintier thread than are now practiced to catch love's flesh fly by the silver wing. Yet to prepare her stomach by degrees to Cupid's feast, because I saw 'twas queasy, I showed her naked pictures by the way, a bit to stay the appetite. Well, advancement I venture hard to find thee. If thou comest with a greater title set upon thy crest, I'll take that first cross patiently and wait until some other comes greater than that. I'll endure all.
The game's e'en at the best now, you may see, widow, how all things draw to an end.
Even so do I, madam.
I pray, take some of your neighbors along with you.
They must be those are almost twice your years then, if they be chose fit matches for my time, madam.
Has not my duke bestirred himself?
Yes, faith, madam, he has done me all the mischief in this game.
Has showed himself in's kind.
In's kind, call you it? I may swear that.
Yes, faith, and keep your oath.
Hark, list. There's somebody coming down. 'Tis she.
Now bless me for blasting. I saw that now. Fearful for any woman's eye to look on. Infectious mist and mildews hang at eyes. The weather of a doomsday dwells upon him. Yet since mine honor's leprous, why should I preserve that fair that caused the leprosy? Come poison all at once. Thou in whose baseness the bane of virtue broods, I'm bound in soul eternally to curse thy smooth-browed treachery that wore the fair veil of a friendly welcome, and I, a stranger, think upon it, 'tis worth it. Beware of offering the first fruits to sin. His weight is deadly who commits with strumpets. After they have been abased and made for use, if they offend to the death, as wise men know, how much more they than that first make 'em so. I give thee that to feed on. I'm made bold now. I thank thy treachery, sin, and I'm acquainted no couple greater. And I'm like that great one who making politic use of a base villain. He likes the treason well, but hates the traitor. So I hate thee, slave.
Well, so the Duke loves me. I fare not much amiss then. Two great feasts do seldom come together in one day. We must not look for 'em.
What at it still, mother?
You see, we sit by it. Are you so soon returned?
So lively and so cheerful, a good sign that.
You have not seen all since, sure.
That I have, mother, the monument and all. I'm so beholding to this kind, honest, courteous gentlewoman, you'd little think it, mother showed me all. Had me from place to place so fashionably the kindness of some people, how it exceeds. Faith I have seen that I little thought to see in the morning when I rose.
Well, nay, I told you before you saw it, it would prove worth your sight. I give you great thanks for my daughter, ma'am, and all your kindness toward her.
Oh, good widow, much good may do her. 40 weeks hence, if faith.
Now may it please us all to walk in, supper's on the table. Will't please you, gentlewoman?
Thanks, virtuous lady. You are damn bawd. I'll follow you forsooth. Pray take my mother in. An old ass go with you. This gentlewoman and I vow not to part.
Then get you both before.
There lies her art.
Widow, I'll follow you. Is it so? Damned bawd? Are you so bitter? 'Tis but want of use. Her tender modesty is seasick a little, being not accustomed to the breaking billow of woman's wavering faith, blown with temptations. 'Tis but a qualm of honor, 'twill away, a little bitter for the time, but lasts not. Sin taste at the first draught like wormwood water, but drunk again, 'tis nectar ever after.
I would my son would either keep at home or I were in my grave. She was but one day abroad, but ever since she's grown so cutted there's no speaking to her. Whether the sight of great cheer at my ladies and such mean fare at home were discontented her, I know not. But I'm sure she's strangely altered. I'll never keep a daughter-in-law in the house with me again if I had 100. When read I of any that agreed long together, but she and her mother fell out in the first quarter? Nay, sometimes a grudging of a scolding the first week by Our Lady, a grudging, so takes the new disease methinks into my house. I'm weary of my part. There's nothing likes her. I know not how to please her here a late. Oh, and here she comes.
This is the strangest house for all defects as ever gentlewoman made shift withal to pass away her love in. Why is there not a cushion cloth of drawn work, or some fair cut work pinned up in my bedchamber, a silver and gilt casting bottle hung by it? Nay, since I am content to be so kind to you, to spare you for a silver basin and ewer, which one of my fashion looks for of duty, she's never offered under where she sleeps.
She talks of things here my whole state's not worthy of.
Never a green silk quilt is there in the house, mother. The cast upon my bed?
No, by troth is there no orange tawny neither.
Here's a house for a young gentlewoman to be got with child in.
Yes. Simple though you make it, there has been 3 got in a year in it since you moved me to it, and all as sweet-faced children and as lovely as you'll be mother of. I will not spare you. What, cannot children be begot, think you, without gilt casting bottles? Yes, and as sweet ones. 'Tis an old saying, one may keep good cheer in a mean house. So may true love affect after the rate of princes in a cottage.
Troth, you speak wondrous well for your old house here. 'Twill shortly fall down at your feet to thank you, or stoop when you go to bed like a good child to ask you blessing. Must I live in want because my fortune matched me with your son? Wives do not give away themselves to husbands to the end to be quite cast away. They look to be the better used, and tender rather, highly respected, and maintained the richer. They're well rewarded else for the free gift of their whole life to a husband. I ask less now than what I had at home when I was a maid and at my father's house, kept short of that which a wife knows she must have, nay, and will, mother, if she be not a fool born, and report went of me that I could wrangle for what I wanted when I was 2 hours old. And by that copy, this land still I hold. You hear me, mother?
How near am I now to a happiness that earth exceeds not? Not another like it. The treasures of the deep are not so precious as are the concealed comforts of a man locked up in a woman's love. I scent the air of blessings when I come but near the house. What a delicious breath marriage sends forth. The violet bed's not sweeter. Honest wedlock is like a banqueting house built in a garden, on which the spring's chaste flowers take delight to cast their modest odors. When base lust, with all her powders, paintings, and best pride, is but a fair house built on a ditch side. When I behold a glorious, dangerous strumpet, sparkling in beauty and destruction too, both at a twinkling, I do liken straight her beautified body to a goodly temple that's built on vaults where carcasses lie rotting. And so by little and little I shrink back again and quench desire with a cool meditation. And I'm as well, methinks. Now for a welcome able to draw men's envies upon man. A kiss now that will hang upon my lip, as sweet as morning dew upon a rose, and full as long after 5 days fast she'll be so greedy now, and cling about me. I take care how I shall be rid of her. And here to begin.
Oh, sir, you're welcome home.
Oh, he has come. I am glad on it.
Is that all? Why, this is as dreadful now as a sudden death to come to some rich man that flatters all his sins with promise and repentance when he's old and dies in the midway before he comes to it. Sure you're not well, Bianca. How dost, prithee?
I've been better than I am at this time.
Alas, I thought so.
Nay, I've been worse too than now you see me, sir.
I'm glad thou mend'st it yet. I feel my heart mends too. How came it to thee? Has anything disliked thee in my absence?
No, certain. I've had the best content that Florence can afford.
Thou makest the best on't. Speak, mother, what's the cause? You must needs know.
Troth, I know none, son. Let her speak for herself. Unless it be the same gave Lucifer a tumbling cast. That's pride.
Methinks this house stands nothing to my mind. I'd have some pleasant lodging in the high street, sir, or toward near the court, that were much better. 'Tis a sweet recreation for a gentlewoman to stand in a bay window and see gallants.
Now I have another temper. A mere stranger to that of yours, it seems. I should delight to see none but yourself.
Too fond is as unseemly as too churlish. I would not have a husband of that proneness. To kiss me before company for a whirl. Beside, 'tis tedious to see one thing still, sir, be it the best that ever heart affected. Nay, were it yourself, whose love had power, you know, to bring me from my friends, I would not stand thus, and gaze upon you always. Troth, I could not, sir, as good be blind, and have no use of sight, as look on one thing still. What's the eye's treasure but change of objects? You're learned, sir, and know I speak not ill, till full as virtuous for woman's eye to look on several men, as for her heart, sir, to be fixed on one.
Now thou comest home to me, a kiss for that word.
No matter for a kiss, sir, let it pass. 'Tis but a toy, will not so much as mind it. Let's talk of other business and forget it. What news now of the pirates? Any stirring? Prithee, discourse a little.
I am glad he's here yet to see her tricks himself. I had lied monstrously if I had told him first.
Speak what's the humor, sweet, you make your lip so strange. Was not wont.
Is there no kindness betwixt man and wife? Unless they make a pigeon house of friendship and still billing. 'Tis the idlest fondness that ever was invented. And 'tis pity it's a grown fashion for poor gentlewomen. There's many a disease kissed in a year by it, and a French curtsy made to it. Alas, sir, think of the world. How shall we live? Grow serious. We've been married a whole fortnight now.
How? A whole fortnight? Is that so long?
'Tis time to leave off dalliance. 'Tis the doctrine of your own teaching. If you be remembered, and I was bound to obey it.
Here's one fits him. That was well catched in faith, son, like a fellow that rids another country of a plague and brings it home with him to his own house. Who knocks?
Who's there now? Withdraw you, Bianca. Thou art a gem no stranger's eye must see. However thou please now to look dull on me. You're welcome, sir. To whom your business, pray?
To one I see not here now.
Who should that be, sir?
A young gentlewoman I was sent to.
A young gentlewoman.
Aye, sir, about 16. Why look you wildly, sir?
At your strange error, you mistook the house, sir. There's none such here, I assure you.
I assure you, too, the man that sent me cannot be mistook.
Why, who is it sent you, sir?
The Duke, sir.
The Duke?
Yes, he entreats your company at a banquet at Lady Livia's house.
Troth, I shall tell you, sir, it is the most erroneous business that e'er your pains was abused with. His grace has been most wondrous ill-informed. Pray so return it, sir. What should her name be?
That I should tell you straight too. Bianca Capella.
How, sir? Bianca! What do you call each other?
Capella, sir.
Oh.
It seems you know no such, then?
Who should this be? I have never heard of the name.
Then 'tis sure a mistake.
What if you inquired in the next street, sir? I saw gallants there in the new houses that are built of late. 10 to 1, you find her there.
Nay, no matter. I will return the mistake and seek no further.
Use your own will and pleasure, sir. You're welcome. What shall I think on it first? Come forth, Bianca! Thou art betrayed, I fear me.
Betrayed? How, sir?
The Duke knows thee.
Knows me? How know you that, sir?
Ask not thy name.
Aye, my good name too. That's worse than the twain.
How comes this work about?
How should the Duke know me? Can you guess, mother?
Not I with all my wits, sir. We kept house close.
Kept close? Not all the locks in Italy can keep you women so. You have been getting. Thou hast been seen, Bianca, by some stranger. Never excuse it.
I'll not seek the way, sir. Do you think you've married me to mew me up, not to be seen? What would you make of me?
A good wife, nothing else.
Why, so are some that are seen every day, else the devil take 'em.
No more than I believe all virtuous in thee without an argument. 'Twas by thy hard chance to be seen somewhere. There lies the mischief, but I have devised a riddance.
Now I can tell you, son, the time and place.
When? Where?
What wits have I? When you last took your leave, if you remember, you left us both a window.
Right, I know that.
And not the third part of an hour after, the Duke passed in great solemnity to St. Mark's Temple, and to my apprehension, he looked up twice the window.
Go, there quicken the mischief of this hour.
If you call it mischief, it is a thing I fear
Look
I
you
am conceived
twice,
with.
and could you take no warning?
Why, once may do as much harm, son, as 1,000. Not you know, one spark has fired a house as well as a whole furnace.
Oh, my heart flames for it. Yet let's see. Let's be wise and keep all smothered closely. I have bethought a means. Is the door fast?
I locked it myself after him.
You know, mother, at the end of the dark parlor, there's a place so artificially contrived for a conveyance, no search can ever find it. When my father kept in for manslaughter, it was his sanctuary. But there I will lock up my life's best treasure up. Bianca.
Would you keep me closer yet? Have you the conscience? You are best even to choke me up, sir. You make me fearful of your health and wits. You cleave to such wild courses. What's the matter?
Why are you so insensible of your danger to ask that now? The Duke himself has sent for you to Lady Livia's, to a banquet, forsooth.
Now I beshrew you heartily, hath he so? And you, the man, would never yet vouchsafe to tell me on it till now. You show your loyalty and honesty at once, and so farewell, sir.
Bianca, whither now?
Why, to the Duke, sir. You say he sent for me.
That does not mean to go, I hope.
No. I shall prove unmannerly, rude, and uncivil, mad, and imitate you. Come, mother. Come, follow his humor no longer.
Oh, not I, faith. I'll first obey the Duke and taste of a good banquet. I'm of the mind. I'll step but up and fetch 2 handkerchiefs to pocket up some sweetmeats or take thee.
Why, here's an old wench would trot into a bawd now for some dry sucket or a coat and marchpane.
Whence comes this alteration? The distractions, the fears, the doubts it brings on numberless. And yet the cause I know not. What a peace has he that never marries? If he knew the benefit he enjoyed, or had the fortune to come and speak with me, he should know then the infinite wealth he had, and discern rightly the greatness of his treasure by my loss. Nay, what a quietness has he, both mine, that wears his youth out in a strumpet's arms, and never spends more care upon a woman than at the time of lust, but walks away, and if he find her dead at his return, his pity is soon done, and breaks a sigh in many parts, and gives her but a peace on't. But all the fears, shames, jealousies, costs, and troubles, and still renewed cares of a marriage bed live in the issue when the wife is dead.
A good perfection to your thoughts.
The news, sir.
Though you were pleased to pin an error on me, you must not shift another in your stead too. The Duke has sent me for you.
How? For me, sir. I see, then 'tis my theft. We're both betrayed. Well, I'm not the first has stolen away a maid. My countrymen have used it. I'll along with you, sir.
Take you a special note of such a gentlewoman. She is here on purpose. I have invited her, her father, and her uncle to this banquet. Mark her behavior well. It does concern you. And what her good parts are, as far as time and place can modestly require a knowledge of, shall be laid open to your understanding. You know I'm both your guardian and your aunt. My care of you is double, ward and nephew, and I'll express it here.
Faith, I should know her now by her mark among 1,000 women. A little, pretty, deft, and tidy thing, you say,
Right.
with a lusty sprouting in her hair.
Mhm. Thou goest the right way still. Take one mark more. Thou shalt ne'er find her hand out of her uncle's, or else his out of hers, if she be near him. The love of kindred never stuck closer than theirs to one another. He that weds her marries her uncle too.
Say you so? They'll be asking the church to both of them.
Fall back. Here comes the Duke.
He brings a gentlewoman. I should fall forward rather.
Come, Bianca, of purpose sent into the world to show perfection once in women. I'll believe henceforth they have every one a soul too, against all the uncourteous opinions that man's uncivil rudeness ever held of them. Glory of Florence, light into mine arms.
Yon comes a grudging man will chide you, sir. The storm is now in's heart, and would get nearer and fall here if it durst. It pours down yonder.
If that be he, the weather shall soon clear. List, I'll tell you how.
A kissing too. I see 'tis plain lust now, adultery bolden. What will it prove anon when 'tis stuffed full of wine and sweetmeats, being so impudent fasting?
We have heard of your good parts, sir, which we honor with our embrace and love. The captainship at Rouen citadel, since the late deceased is not supplied by any yet. Take it. The place is yours then. And as faithfulness and desert grows, our favor shall grow with it. Rise now the captain of our fort at Ruins.
The service of whole life, give your grace thanks.
Come, sit, Bianca.
This is some good yet, more than I looked for. A fine bit to stay a cuckold's stomach. I'm like a thing was never yet heard of. Half merry, half mad. Much like a fellow that eats his meat with good appetite and wears a plague sore that would fright a country. Or rather like a barren, hardened ass that feeds on thistles till he bleeds again. And such is the condition of my misery.
Is that the widow's son, Fabrizio?
Yes, did your ladyship never know that till now?
No, trust me, did I? Nor ever truly felt the power of love and pity to a man till now I knew him. I have enough to buy me my desires, and yet to spare. That's one good comfort. Hark you. Pray, let me speak with you, sir, before you go.
With me, lady. You shall. I am at your service. What will she say now? Tro. More goodness yet?
I see her now, I'm sure. Baby so little. Just almost feel her. I've seen almost as tall as she sold in the fair for 10 pence. See how she simpers it as if marmalade would not melt in her mouth? Or she might have the kindness of fate to send me a gilded bull from her own trencher, a ram, a goat, or someone to be nibbling. For these women, when they come to sweet things once, they forget all their friends. They grow so greedy. Nay, oftentimes their husbands.
Here's our health now, gallants, to the best beauty at this day in Florence.
Whoever she be, she shall not go unpledged, sir.
Nay, you're excused from this.
Who? I, my lord?
Yes, by the law of Bacchus, plead your benefit. You are not bound to pledge your own health, lady.
That's a good way, my lord, to keep me dry.
Nay, then I will not offend Venus so much. Let Bacchus seek his means in another court. Here's to thyself, Bianca.
Nothing comes more welcome to that name than your grace.
So, here stands the poor thief, now that stole the treasure, and he's not thought on. Ours is near kin now to a twin misery born into the world. First, the hard-conscienced worldling, he hoards wealth up. Then comes the next, and he feasts all upon it. Oh, equal justice! Thou hast met my sin with a full weight, and I'm rightly oppressed. All her friends' heavy hearts lie in my breast.
Methinks there is no spirit amongst us, gallants, but what divinely sparkles from the eyes of bright Bianca? We all sat in darkness, but for that splendor. Who was it told us lately of a match making right? A marriage tender.
'Twas I, my lord.
Ah, 'twas you indeed. Where is she?
This is the gentlewoman.
My lord, my daughter.
Why, here's some staring yet.
She's a dear child to me.
That must needs be. You say she is your daughter.
Nay, my good lord, dear to my purse, I mean. Besides my person, I never reckoned that she had the full qualities of a gentlewoman. I have brought her up to music, dancing, whatnot that may commend her sex and stir her husband.
And which is he now?
This young heir, my lord.
What is he brought up to?
To cat and trap.
My lord, he's a great ward, wealthy but simple. His parts consist in acres.
Oh, wise acres.
You've spoken in a word, sir.
Alas, poor gentlewoman, she's ill bestead unless she's dealt the wiselier and laid in more provision for her youth. Fools will not keep in summer.
No, nor such wives from whores in winter.
Yea, the voice too, sir.
Aye, and a sweet breast too, my lord, I hope, or I have cast away my money wisely. She took her prick song earlier, my lord, than any of her kindred ever did. A rare child, though I say it, But I'd not have the baggage here so much. 'Twould make her swell straight. And maids of all things must not be puffed up.
Let's turn this to a better banquet then, for music bids the soul of a man to a feast. And that's indeed a noble entertainment worthy Bianca's self. You shall perceive, beauty, our Florentine damsels are not brought up idly.
They are wiser of themselves, it seems, my lord, and can take gifts when all goodness offers them.
True, and damnation has taught you that wisdom. You can take gifts too. Oh, the music mocks me.
I am as dumb to any language now but love's as one that never learned to speak. I am not yet so old, but he may think of me. My own fault. I've been idle a long time, but I'll begin the week and paint tomorrow. So follow my true labor day by day. I never thrived so well as when I used it.
What harder chance can fall to woman who was born to cleave some man than to bestow her time, youth, beauty, life's observance, honor, duty on a thing for no good use, but to make physic work or blood force fresh in an old lady's cheek? She that would be mother of fools, let her compound with me.
Here's a tune, indeed. Yes, I'd rather hear one bell sung in the nose now of the lament about drowning of fat sheep and oxen than all the simpering tunes played upon cats and dogs sung by little kiplings.
How do you like her breast now, my lord?
Her breast? He talks as if his daughter had given suck before she were married, as her betters have. The next he praises sure will be her nipples.
Methinks now, such a voice in such a husband is like a jewel of unvalued worth hung at a fool's ear.
Oh, may it please your grace to give her leave to show another quality.
Marry as many good ones as you will, sir. The more, the better welcome.
But less the better practiced. That soul's black indeed that cannot commend virtue, but who keeps it? The extortioner will say to a sick beggar, Heaven comfort thee, though he give none himself. This good is common.
Nay, it will please you now, ma'am, to entreat your ward to take her by the hand and lead her in a dance before the Duke.
That will I, sir. 'Tis indeed needful. Hark you, nephew.
Nay, you shall see, young heir, what you have for your money without fraud or imposture.
Or dance with her. Not I, sweet Gardenier, do not urge my heart to it. It's clean against my blood, dance with a stranger. Let whose will do it, I'll not begin first with her.
No, fear it not, fool, as she is took a better order.
Why, who shall take her then?
Or some other gentleman, but there's her uncle, a fine timbered reveler. Perhaps he knows the manner of her dancing too. I'll have him do it before me, I have sworn, Gardenier. Then may I learn the better.
Thou'lt be an ass still.
Right, all that shall not fool me out. Pish, I stick closer to myself than so.
I must entreat you, sir, to take your niece and dance with her. My ward's a little willful. He would have you show him the way.
Me? He shall command it at all hours. Pray tell him so.
I thank you for him. He has not wit himself.
Come, my life's peace. I have a strange office on't here. 'Tis some man's luck to keep the joys he likes concealed for his own bosom, but my fortune to set 'em out now for another's liking, like the mad misery of necessitous man that parts from his good horse with many praises and goes on foot himself, need must be obeyed in every action. It mars man and maid.
Signor Favorito, You are a happy father. Your cares and pains are fortunate. You see, your cost bears noble fruits. Hippolito, thanks.
Here's some amends for all my charges yet. She wins both prick and praise where'er she comes.
How likest Bianca?
All things well, my lord. But this poor gentlewoman's fortune, that's the worst.
There's no doubt, Bianca, she'll find leisure to make that good enough. He's rich and simple.
She has the better hope or the upper hand indeed, which women strive for most.
Do it when I bid you, sir.
I'll venture but a hornpipe with her Gardiner or some such married message.
Well, venture something, sir.
I have rhyme for what I do.
But little reason, I think.
Plain men dance the measures, the syncopate the day, cockles dance the hornpipe, and farmers dance the hay. Your soldiers dance the round, and maidens that grow big, your drunkards the canaries, your whore and bought the chick. Here is your 8 kind of debtors. He that finds the 9th, let him pay the minstrels.
Oh, here he appears, once in his own person. I thought he would marry her by attorney, and lain with her so too.
Nay, my kind lord, there's very seldom any found so foolish to give away his part there.
Bitter scoff. Yet I must do it. And with what cruel of pride the glory of her sin strikes my afflictions.
This thing will make shift, sirs, to make a husband, for aught I see in him. Oh, thanks, Bianca.
Faith and ill-favored shift, my lord. Methinks, if he would take some voyage when he's married, dangerous or long enough, and scarce be seen once in 9 years together, a wife then might make indifferent shift to be content with him.
A kiss! That wit deserves to be made much on. Come, our crotch.
Stands ready for your grace.
My thanks to all your loves. Come, fair Bianca. We have took special care of you and provided your lodging near us now.
Your love is great, my lord.
Once more, all thanks to all.
Oh, hast thou left me then, Bianca, utterly? Bianca, now I miss thee. I'll return and save the faith of woman. I never felt the loss of thee till now. 'Tis an affliction of greater weight than youth was made to bear. 'Tis a punishment of afterlife we're fallen upon a man here. So new it is to flesh and blood. 'Tis so strange, so unsupportable, a torment. E'en mistook as if a body whose death were drowning must needs therefore suffer it in scalding oil.
Sweet sir,
As long as mine eyes saw thee, I half enjoyed thee.
sir,
Canst thou forget the dear pains my love took, how it was watched whole nights together in all weathers for thee? Yet stood in heart for more merry than the tempest that sung about mine ears like dangerous flatterers that can set all their mischief to sweet tunes. And then receive thee from thy father's window into these arms at midnight, when we embraced as if we had been statues only made for it, to show life's art. So silent were we in our comforts and kissed, as if our lips had grown together.
this makes me madder to enjoy him now.
That
Sir,
cannot be, but out of some close bonds working. Ha! Ah! Um, cry mercy, lady. What? What would you say to me? My sorrow makes me so unmannerly, so comfort bless me, I had quite forgot you.
nothing but even in pity, too, that passion would give your grief good counsel.
Merry and welcome, lady, and could never come better.
Then, first, sir, to make away all your good thoughts at once of her, know most assuredly she is a strumpet.
Most assuredly. Ha! Speak not such a thing, so vile, so certainly. Leave it more doubtful.
Then I must leave all truth and spare my knowledge, a sin which I too lately found and wept for.
Found you it?
Aye, with what eyes?
Oh, perjurious friendship.
You missed your fortunes when you met with her, sir. Young gentlemen that only love for beauty, they love not wisely. Such a marriage rather proves the destruction of affection. It brings on want, and want's the key of whoredom. I think you had small means with her.
Oh, not any, lady.
Alas, poor gentleman, what meanst thou, sir, quite to undo thyself with thine own kind heart? Thou art too good and pitiful to woman. Marry, sir, thank thy stars for this blessed fortune that rids the summer of thy youth so well from many beggars that had lain a sunning in thy beams, only else till thou had wasted the whole days of thy life in heat and labor. What would you say now to a creature found as pitiful to you, and as it were, e'en sent on purpose from the whole sex general to requite all that kindness you have shown to it?
What's that, madam?
Nay, a gentlewoman, and one able to reward good things, aye, and bears a conscience to it. Couldst thou love such a one that, blow all fortunes, would never see thee want? Nay, more, maintain thee to thine enemy's envy, and shalt not spend a care for it, stir a thought, nor break a sleep, unless love's music wake thee. No storm of fortune should. Look upon me, and know that woman.
Oh, my life's wealth, Bianca!
Still with her name? Will nothing wear it out? That deep sigh went but for a strumpet, sir.
It can go no other than for that. It can go for no other that loves me.
He's vexed in mind I came too soon to him. Where's my discretion? Now, my skill, my judgment? I am cunning in all arts but my own love. 'Tis as unseasonable to tempt him now so soon as a widow to be courted following her husband's corpse, or to make bargain by the graveside and take a young man there. Her strange departure stands like a hearse yet before his eyes, which time will take down shortly.
Is she my wife till death? Yet no more mine. That's a hard measure. And what's marriage good for? Methinks by right I should not now be living. And then, 'twere all well. What a happiness had I been made of had I never seen her. For nothing makes man's loss grievous to him but knowledge of the worth of what he loses. For what he never had, he never misses. Why should my love last longer than her truth? What is there good in woman to be loved when only that which makes her soul has left her? I cannot love her now, but I must like her sin and my own shame too, and be guilty of law's breach with her and mine own abusing, all of which are monstrous. Then my safest course for health of mind and body is to turn my heart and hate her, most extremely hate her. I have no other way. Those virtuous powers which were chaste witness of both our tropes can witness she breaks first. And I'm rewarded with a captainship of the Fords. A place of credit, I must confess. Oh, but poor. Besides, the place now fits me. It suits my resolution, but not my breeding.
I have tried all ways I can. I have not power to keep from sight of him. How are you now, sir?
I feel a better ease, madam.
Thanks to blessedness. You will do well, I warrant you. Fear it not, sir. Join but your own good will to it. I pray, let's walk, sir. You never yet saw the beauty of my house, though how abundantly fortune has blessed me in worldly treasures. Trust me, I have enough, sir, to make my friend a rich man in life, a great man at my death. Yourself will say so. If you want anything and spare to speak, troth, I'll condemn you for a willful man, sir.
Why, sure this can be but the flattery of a dream.
Now, by my kiss, my love, my soul and riches, 'tis all true substance. Come, you shall see my wealth. Take what you list. The gallanter you go, the more you please me. I will allow you to your page and footman, your racehorses, or any various pleasure exercise youth delights in. But to me only, sir, wear your heart of constant stuff. Do you love enough? I'll give enough.
Troth, then, I'll love enough and take enough.
Then we are both pleased enough.
Now, nephew, here's the gentlewoman again.
Mass, she's come again. Mark her now, Sordito.
This is the maid my love and care has chose out for your wife, and so I tender her to you. Yourself has been eyewitness of some qualities that speak a courtly breeding and are costly. I bring you both to talk together now. 'Tis time you grew familiar in your tongues. Tomorrow you join hands, and one ring ties you, and one bed holds you, if you like the choice. Her father and her friends are in the next room and stay to see the contract ere they part. Therefore dispatch, good ward, be sweet and short. Like her or like her not. There's but two ways, and one your body, the other your purse pays.
I warrant you, Gardiner, I'll not stand all day thrumming, but quickly shoot my bolt at your next coming.
Well said. Good fortune to your birding then.
I never missed my mark yet.
Troth, I think, master, if the truth were known, you never shot at any but the kitchen wench, and that was a she woodcock, a mere innocent, that was oft lost and cried at 8 and 20.
No more of that meat, Sordito. Here's eggs on the spit. We must turn gingerly. Draw the catalogue of all the faults of women.
How, all the faults? Have you so little reason to think so much paper will line my breeches? Why, 10 carts will not carry it if you set down but the bawds. All the faults. Pray, let's be content with a few of them. And if there were less, you would find 'em enough. I warrant you. Look you, sir.
But that I have the advantage of the fool, as much as women's heart can wish and joy at. Oh, what an infernal torment 'twere to be thus bought and sold and turned and pried into, and alas, the worst bit is too good for him. And the comfort is, he has but a cater's place on it, and provides all for the table. How curious the ass is, like some nice professor on it that buys up all the daintiest foods in the markets and seldom licks his lips after a taste on it.
Now to her. Now you have scanned her all her parts over.
But at what end shall I begin now, Sordito?
Oh, ever at a woman's lip while you live, sir? Do you ask that question?
I think so. She's got a crabbed face to begin with.
A crabbed face. Huh, that will save money.
How? Save money, Sordita?
Aye, sir, for having a crabbed face of her own, she'll eat the less verjuice with her mutton. Twill save verjuice at year's end, sir.
Nay, and you're just beginning to be saucy once. I'll make sure you eat your meat without mustard.
And that in some kind is a punishment.
Gentlewoman, this is your pleasure to be my wife, and you shall know shortly whether it be mine or no, to be your husband. And thereupon, thus I first enter upon you. Oh, most delicious scent. It is reported, gentlewoman, you'll run mad for me if you have me not.
I should be in great danger of my wits, sir. For being so forward to this ass kick backwards now.
So, is that hair your own?
Mine own. Yes, sure, sir. I owe nothing for it.
It's a good hearing. I shall have the less to pay for when I've married you. Look, does her eyes stand well?
They cannot stand better than in her head, I think. Where would you have them? And for her nose, 'tis of a very good last.
I've known as good as that has not lasted a year, though.
That's in the using of the thing. Will not any strong bridge fall down in time if we do nothing but beat at the bottom? A nose of buff would not always last, sir, especially if it came to the camp once.
But sorry, how shall we do to make her laugh that I may see what teeth she has? For I'll not bait her a tooth, nor take a black one into the bargain.
Why do you fall and talk with her? You cannot choose but one time or other. Make her laugh, sir.
You shall go hard, but I will. Pray, what qualities have you besides singing and dancing? Can you play a shuttlecock, forsooth?
Aye, and at stool ball too, sir. I have great luck at it.
Why? Can you catch a ball well?
I have catched two in my lap at one game.
What have you, woman? I must have you learned to play a trap as well. Oh, then you are full and whole.
Anything that please you to bring me up to, I shall take great pains to practice.
It will not do, Sordidosh. We will never get her mouth open wide enough.
No, sir? That's strange. Here's a trick for your learning. Look now. Quick. There.
Pox of that scurvy manly trick with the fan. It hindered me a little, but I'm satisfied. I fair hope of her teeth now, Sordido.
Why then you have all well, sir, for aught I see, she's right and straight enough now as she stands. They'll commonly lie crooked, that's no matter. Wise gamesters never find fault with that. Let 'em lie still so.
'Tis enough, forsooth.
And how do you like me now, sir?
Oh, faith, so well. I never mean to part with this sweetheart under some 16 children and all boys.
You'll be at simple pains if you prove kind and breed 'em all in your teeth.
Nay, by my faith, what serves your belly for? To make my cheeks look like blown bagpipes.
How now, ward and nephew, gentlewoman and niece, speak. Is it so or not?
Oh, we're both agreed, sir.
Into your kindred, then. There's friends and wine and music waits to welcome you.
Or that I'll be drunk for joy.
And I for company. I cannot break my nose in a better action.
How strangely a woman's fortune comes about. This was the farthest way to come to me. All would have judged that knew me born in Venice, and there were with many jealous eyes brought up that never thought they had me sure enough, but when they were upon me. Yet my hap to meet it here, so far off from my birthplace, my friends or kindred. 'Tis not good in sadness to keep a maid so strict in her young days. Restraint breeds wandering thoughts, as many fasting days. A great desire to see flesh stirring again. I'll never use any girl of mine so strictly, however they're kept, their fortunes find 'em out. I see it in me. If they be got in court, I'll never forbid 'em the country nor the court. Though they be born in the country, they will come to it, and fetch their falls 1,000 mile about, where one would little think on it.
I long to see how my despair looks now she's come here to court. These are her lodgings. She's simply now advanced. I took her out of no such window. I remember first that was a great deal lower and less carved.
How now? What silkworm's this? In the name of pride? What? Is it he?
A bow in the hams to your greatness. You must now have 3 legs, I take it, must you not?
Then I must take another. I shall want else. The service I should have, you have but 2 there.
You're richly placed.
Methinks you're wondrous brave, sir.
A sumptuous lodging.
You have an excellent suit.
A chair of velvet.
Is your cloak lined through, sir?
You're very stately here.
Faith, something proud, sir.
Stay, let me see your cloth of silver slippers.
Who's your shoemaker? Has made you a neat boot.
Will you have a pair? The Duke will lend you spurs.
Yes, when I ride.
'Tis a brave life you lead.
I could never see you in such good clothes in my time.
In your time?
Sure, I think, sir, we both best thrive asunder.
You're a whore!
Fear nothing, sir.
An impudent, spiteful strumpet.
Oh, sir, you give me thanks for your captainship. I thought you had forgot all your good manners.
And to spite thee as much, look there and read. Vex, no, thou shalt find there I am not love-starved. The world was never yet so cold or pitiless, but there was ever still more charity found out than at one proud fool's door. And 'twere hard, faith, if I could not pass that. Read to thy shame there. A cheerful and beauteous benefactor, too, as e'er erected the good works of love.
Lady Livia. Is it possible? Her worship was my Pandress. She dote and send and give all to him. Why, here's a bawd-plagued home. You're simply happy, sir. Yet I'll not envy you.
No, court saint, not thou. You keep some friend of a new fashion. There's no harm in your devil. He's a suckling, but he will breed teeth shortly, will he not?
Take heed you play not then too long with him.
Oh, yes, and a great one, too. I shall find time to play a hard religious bout with some of you, and perhaps drive you and your course of sins to their eternal kennels. I speak softly now. 'Tis manners in a noblewoman's lodging, and well I know all my degrees of duty. But come I to your everlasting parting once, thunder shall seem soft music to that tempest.
'Twas said last week there would be change of weather, when the moon hung so, and belike you heard it.
Oh, why, here's sin made and ne'er a conscience put to it. A monster with all forehead and no eyes. Why do I talk to thee of sense and virtue? That aught as dark as death, and as much madness to set light before thee as to lead blind folks to see the monuments, which they shall smell as soon as they behold. Marry, oftentimes their heads for want of light may feel the hardness of them. So shall thy blind pride my revenge and anger. That canst not see it now, and it may fall at such an hour when thou seest it least of all. So to an ignorance darker than thy womb I leave thy perjured soul. A plague will come.
Get you gone first, and then I fear no greater, nor thee will I fear long. I'll have this sauciness soon banished from these lodgings, and the rooms perfumed well after the corrupt air it leaves. His breath has made me almost sick, in troth, a poor base startup. Life, because that's got fair clothes by foul means, comes to rail and show 'em.
Who's that?
Cry you mercy, sir.
Prithee, who's that?
The former thing, my lord, to whom you gave the captainship. He eats his meat with grudging still.
Still?
He comes here, vaunting here of his new love and the new clothes she gave him, Lady Livia. Who but she now his mistress?
Lady Livia? Be sure of what you say.
He showed me her name, sir, in perfumed paper, her vows, her letter, with an intent to spite me. So his heart said, and his threats made it good. They were as spiteful as ever malice uttered, and as dangerous, should his hand follow the copy.
But that must not. Do not vex your mind. Prithee, to bed. Go, all shall be well and quiet.
I love peace, sir.
And so do all that love. Take you no care for it. It shall be still provided to your hand. Who's nearest?
My lord.
Seek out Hippolito, brother to Lady Livia, with all speed.
He was the last man I saw, sir.
Make haste. He is a blood soon stirred, and he's quick to apprehend a wrong. He's bold and sudden in bringing forth a ruin. I know likewise the reputation of his sister's honor, as dear to him as lifeblood to his heart. Beside, I'll flatter him with a goodness to her which I now thought on, but ne'er meant to practice, because I know her base. And that wind drives him to alterous reputation, fills the poise, if lightest wrongs, his sores are vexed with flies. He comes. Hippolito, welcome.
My loved lord,
Ah, thy dear sister. How does that lusty widow? Is she not speak yet of a second husband? A bedfellow she has, I ask not that. I know she speak of him.
of him, my lord.
Yes, of a bedfellow. Is the news so strange to you?
I hope 'tis so to all.
I wish it were, sir, but 'tis confessed too fast. Her ignorant pleasures, only by lust instructed, have received into their services an impudent boaster, one that does raise his glory from her shame, and tells the midday sun what's done in darkness, yet blinded in her appetite, wastes her wealth, buys his disgraces as at a dearer rate than bounteous housewives purchase their honor. Nothing sads me so much as that in love to thee and to thy blood, I had picked out a worthy match for her, the great Vincenito, high in our favor and in all men's thoughts.
O thou destruction of all happy fortunes, unsated blood! Know you the name, my lord, of her abuser?
One Leonantio.
He's a factor.
He ne'er made so brave a voyage, by his own talk.
The poor old widow's son. I humbly take my leave.
I see 'tis done. Give her good counsel, and make her see her error. I know she'll hearken to you.
Yes, my lord. I make no doubt as I shall take the course which she shall never know till it be acted. And when she wakes to honor, Then she'll thank me for't. I'll imitate the pities of old surgeons to this lost limb, who ere they show their art, cast one asleep, then cut the diseased part. So out of love to her, I pity most, she shall not feel him going till he's lost. Then she'll commend the cure.
The great cure's past. I count this done already. His wrath sure, and speaks an injury deep. Farewell, Leontio. This place will never hear thee murmur more. Oh, noble brother, welcome.
Set those lights down. Depart till you be called.
There's a serious business fixed in his look. Nay, it inclines a little to the dark color of discontentment. Brother, what is commands your eye so powerfully? Speak, you seem lost.
The thing I look on seems so to my eyes lost forever.
You look on me.
What a grief 'tis to a religious feeling, to think a man should have a friend so goodly, so wise, so noble, nay, a duke, a brother, and all this certainly damned.
How?
'Tis no wonder if your great sin can do't. Dare you look up for thinking of a vengeance? Dare you sleep for fear of never waking but to death, and dedicate unto a strumpet's love the strength of your affections, zeal, and health? Here you stand now. Can you assure your pleasures you shall once more enjoy her? What, once more? Alas, you cannot. What a misery 'tis then to be more certain of eternal death than of a next embrace. Nay, shall I show you how more unfortunate you stand in sin than the low private man? All his offences, like enclosed grounds, keep but about himself, and seldom stretch beyond his own soul's bounds. And when a man grows miserable, 'tis some comfort when he's no further charged than with himself. 'Tis a sweet ease to wretchedness. But, great man, every sin thou commits shows like a flame upon a mountain. 'Tis seen far about, and with a big wind made of popular breath, the sparkles fly through cities. Here one takes, another catches there, and in short time waste all to cinders. But remember still what burnt the valleys first came from the hill. Every offense draws upon his particular pain, but 'tis example proves the great man's bane.
If you have done, I have. No more. Sweet brother.
I know time spent in goodness is too tedious. This had not been a moment's space in lust now. How dare you venture on eternal pain that cannot bear a minute's reprehension? Methinks you should endure to hear that talked of which you so strive to suffer. Oh, my brother! What were you if you were taken now? My heart weeps blood to think on it. 'Tis a work of infinite mercy. You can never merit that yet you are not death struck. No, not yet. I dare not stay you long for fear you should not have time enough allowed you to repent in. Think upon it, brother. Can you come so near it for a fair strumpet's love, and fall into a torment that knows neither end nor bottom for beauty, but the deepness of a skin, and that not of their own neither? Is she a thing whom sickness dare not visit, or age look on, or death resist? Does the worm shun her grave? If, as your soul knows it, why should lust bring man to lasting pain for rotten dust?
Brother of spotless honor, let me weep the first of my repentance in thy bosom, and show the blessed flutes of a thankful spirit. And if I e'er keep woman more unlawfully, may I want penitence at my greatest need. and wise men know there is no barren place threatens more famine than a doff in grace.
Why, here's a conversion is at this time, brother, sung for a hymn in heaven. And at this instance, the power of darkness groan, makes all hell sorry. First I praise heaven, then in my work I glory. Who's there attends without? Take up those lights, you there. There was a thicker darkness when they came first. The peace of a fair soul keep with my noble brother.
Joys be with you, sir. She lies alone tonight for it, and must still, though it be hard to conquer, but I have vowed to never have her as a strumpet more, and I must save my oath. If fury fell not, her husband dies tonight, or at the most lives not to see the morning spent tomorrow. Then will I make her lawfully mine own, without this sin and horror. Now I'm chidden for what I shall enjoy then unforbidden, and I'll not freeze in stoves. 'Tis but a while, live like a hopeful bridegroom chaste from flesh, and pleasure then will seem new, fair, and fresh.
The morning so far wasted, yet his baseness so impudent. See if the very sun do not blush at him. Dare he do this much and know me alive? Put case one must be vicious, as I know myself, monstrously guilty. There's a blind time made for it. He might use only that, 'twere conscionable. Art, silence, closeness, subtlety, and darkness are fit for such business, but there's no pity to be bestowed on an apparent sinner, an impudent daylight lecher. The great zeal I bear to her advancement in this match with Lord Vincentio, as the Duke has wrought it, to the perpetual honor of our house, puts fire into my blood to purge the air of this corruption. Fear it spread too far, and poison the whole hopes of this fair fortune. I love her good so dearly that no brother shall venture farther for a sister's glory. Then I for her preferment.
Once again, I'll see that glistering whore shines like the serpent, now the court sun's upon her. I'll go in state, too. Page, see the coach be ready. I'll hurry away presently.
Yes, you shall hurry, and the devil after you. You take that at setting forth. Ha!
Gah!
Now, and you'll draw, we are upon equal terms, sir. Thou took'st the advantage of my name and honor upon my sister. I ne'er saw the stroke come till I found my reputation bleeding, and therefore count it no sin to valor, to serve thy lust so. Now we are even hand. Take your best course against me. You must die.
How close sticks envy to man's happiness! When I was poor, and little cared for life, I had no such means offered me to die. No man's wrath minded me. Slave, I turn this to thee, to call thee to account for a wound lately of a base stamp upon me.
'Twas most fit for a base metal. Come and fetch one now more noble than, for I will use thee fairer than thou hast done thine soul or our honor.
Gah! Ah!
There, and I think 'tis for thee.
False wife, I see now thou'st prayed heartily for me. Rise, strumpet, by my fall. Thy lust may reign now. My heartstring and the marriage knot that tied thee breaks both together.
There I heard the sound on't, and never like striking better.
'Tis my brother. Are you hurt, sir?
Not anything.
Lest fortune shift for thyself. What is he thou hast killed?
Our honor's enemy.
Know you this man, lady?
Leontio? My love's joy? Wounds stick upon thee as deadly as thy sins. Art thou not hurt? The devil take that fortune, and he dead. Drop plagues into thy bowels without voice, secret and fearful. Run for officers, let him be apprehended with all speed, for fear he scape away. Lay hands on him. We cannot be too sure 'tis willful murder. You know him not as I do. He's a villain, a monstrous, a prodigy, and as dreadful.
Will you but entertain a noble patience till you but hear the reason, worthy sister?
The reason? That's a jest. Hell falls a laughing at. Is there a reason found for the destruction of our more lawful loves? And there was none to kill the black lust twixt thy niece and thee, that hast kept close so long.
How's that, good madam?
Too true. There she stands. Let her deny it. The deed cries shortly in the midwife's arms unless the parent's sins strike stillborn. And if you be not deaf and ignorant, you'll hear strange notes ere long. Look upon me, wench. 'Twas I betrayed thy honor subtly to him under a false tale. It lights upon me now. His arm has paid me home upon thy breast, my sweet beloved Leontio.
Was my judgment in care and choice so devilishly abused, so beyond shamefully? All the world will grin at me.
Oh, Sordito! Sordito, I'm damned, I'm damned!
Damned why, sir?
Oh, wicked! There's no seed! Oh, cuckold! A plague to cuckold!
Nay, and you be damned for that. Be of good cheer, sir. You have gallant company of all professions.
You there, that bear your load of injuries as I of sorrows, lend me your grief strength to this sad burden, who in life wore actions, flames were not nimbler. We will talk of things may have the luck to break our hearts together.
I'll list to nothing but revenge and anger, whose counsels I will follow.
Oh, wife, quotha! Here's the sweet plum tree of your gardener's graffing.
There's a worse name belongs to this fruit yet, and you could hit on it. A more open one. For he that marries a whore looks like a fellow bound all his lifetime to a medlar tree, and that's good stuff. To know so right, but is rotten. And so do some queens at 19. A pox on it. I thought there was some neighboring approach for something starved in her belly the first night I lay with her.
What? What, sir?
But as she, brought up so quickly, can sing, can dance, can tumble too. Methinks I'll never marry wife again. There are so many qualities.
Indeed, they are seldom good, master. For likely when they are taught so many, they will have one trick more of their own finding out. Well, give me a wench, but with one good quality, to lie with none but her husband. And that's the bringing up enough for any woman breathing.
This was the fall to which you was tethered to me. You don't look to this.
Alas, how would you have me see through a Alas, how would you have me see through a great farthingale, sir? I cannot peep through a millstone, or in the going to see what's done in the bottom.
Her father praised her breast. She had a voice, forsooth. I marveled. She sung so small, indeed, being no maid. Now I perceive there is a young chorister in her belly. Oh, oh. This breeds a singing in my head, I'm sure.
Tis but the tune of your wife's syncopace danced in a feather bed. Faith, go lie down, master. But take heed your horns do not make holes in the pillow biers. I would not batter brows with him. For a hogshead of angels, he would prick my skull as full as holes as a prisoner's sandbox.
Was ever maid so cruelly beguiled to the confusion of life, soul, and honor, all of one woman's murdering? I fain bring her name no nearer to my blood than woman, and 'tis too much at that. Oh, shame and horror! In the distance from yon man to me lies enough sin to make the whole world perish. 'Tis time we parted, sir, and left the sight of one another. Nothing can be worse to hurt repentance, for our very eyes are far more poisonous to religion than basilisk to them. If any goodness rests in you, hope of comforts, fear of judgments, my request is I ne'er may see you more. And so I turn me from you everlastingly, so my hope is to miss you. But for her that durst so dally with a sin so dangerous, and lay a snare so spiteful for my youth, if the least means but favor my revenge, that I may practice the like cruel cunning upon her life as she has on mine honor, I'll act it without pity.
Here's a care of reputation, and a sister's fortune, sweetly rewarded by her. Would a silence as great as that which keeps among the graves had everlastingly changed up her tongue. My love to her has made mine miserable.
If you can but disassemble your heart's griefs now, be but a woman so far.
Peace, I'll strive.
As I can wear my injuries in a smile, here's an occasion offered that gives anger both liberty and safety to perform things worth the fire it holds, without the fear of danger or of law. For mischiefs acted upon under the privilege of a marriage triumph at the Duke's hasty nuptials will be thought things merely accidental, all's by chance, not got of their own nature.
I conceive you, even to a longing for performance on't, and here behold some fruits. Forgive me both, when I am now returned to sense and judgment, is not the same rage and distraction presented lately to you. That rude form is gone forever. I am now myself that speaks all peace and friendship, and these tears are the true springs of hearty penitent sorrow for those foul wrongs which my forgetful fury slandered your virtues with. This gentlewoman is well resolved now.
I was never otherways. I knew, alas, 'twas but your anger spake it, and I ne'er thought on't more.
Pray rise, good sister.
Here's Eden the sweet amends made for a wrong now with one that gives the wound and pays the surgeon. All the smarts nothing, and great loss of blood or time of hindrance. Well, I had a mother. I can dissemble too. What wrongs have slipped through anger's ignorance, and my heart forgives.
Why, thus tuneful now?
And what I did, sister, was all. And what I did, sister, was all for honor's cause, which time to come will approve to you.
Being awakened to goodness, I understand so much, sir, and praise you now, the fortune of your arm and of your safety. For by his death ye have rid me of a sin as costly as e'er woman doted on. It has pleased the Duke so well, too, that, behold, sir, has sent me here your pardon, which I kissed with most affectionate comfort when 'twas brought. Then was my fit just past. It came so well, methought, to glad my heart.
I see his grace thinks on me.
There's no talk now but of the preparation for the great marriage.
Does he marry her then?
With all speed, suddenly, as fast as cost can be laid with many thousand hands. If you'll join me, it shall be done. The cost shall be all mine.
You'll have my voice first. 'Twill well approve my thankfulness for the Duke's love and favor.
What say you, niece?
I am content to make one.
The plot's full then. Your pages, madam, will make shift for Cupids.
That will they.
You'll play your old part still.
What is good? Troth, I have e'en forgot it.
Why, Juno Pronuba, the marriage goddess.
'Tis right indeed.
And you shall play the nymph that offers sacrifice to appease her wrath.
Sacrifice?
Must I be appeased then?
That's as you list yourself as you see cause.
Methinks 'twould show the more state in her deity to be incensed.
'Twould. But my sacrifice shall take a course to appease you, or I'll fail in it, and teach a sinful bawd to play a goddess.
For our parts, we'll not be ambitious. Please you walk in and see the project drawn, then take your choice.
I weigh not, so I have one.
How much ado have I to restrain fury from breaking into curses? Oh, how painful 'tis to keep great sorrows smothered. Sure, I think 'tis harder to assemble grief than love. Leontio, here the weight of thy loss lies, which nothing but destruction can suffice.
Cease! Cease! Religious honors done to sin disparage virtue's reverence, and will pull heaven's thunder upon Florence. Holy ceremonies were made for sacred uses, not for sinful. Are these the fruits of your repentance, brother? Better it had been you had never sorrowed than to abuse the benefit and return to worse than where sin left you. Vowed you then never to keep strumpet more, and are you now so swift in your desires to knit your honors and your life fast to her? Is not sin sure enough to wretched man, but he must bind himself in chains to it? Worse, must marriage, that immaculate robe of honor that renders virtue glorious, fair, and fruitful to her great master, be now made the garment of leprosy and foulness? Is this penitence to sanctify hot lust? What is it other ways than worship done to devils?
Here you are bitter without cause, brother. What I vowed I keep as safe as your conscience. And this needs not. I taste more wrath in it than I do religion, and envy more than goodness. The path now I tread is honest, leads to lawful love, which virtue and her strictness would not check. I vowed no more to keep a sensual woman. 'Tis done. I mean to make a lawful wife of her.
He that taught you that craft, call him not master long. He will undo you. Grow not too cunning for your soul, good brother. Is it enough to use adulterous thefts and then take sanctuary in marriage? I grant, so long as an offender keeps close in a privileged temple, his life's safe. But if he ever venture to come out and so be taken, then he surely dies for't. So now you're safe. But when you leave this body, man's only privileged temple upon the earth in which the guilty soul takes sanctuary, then you'll proceed what wrongs chaste vows endure, when lust usurps the bed that should be pure.
Sir, I've read you over all this while in silence, and I find great knowledge in you and severe learning. Yet amongst all your virtues I see not charity written, which some call the firstborn of religion, and I wonder I cannot see it in yours. Heaven and angels take great delight in a converted sinner. Why should you then, a servant and professor, differ so much from them? If every woman that commits evil should be therefore kept back in desires of goodness, how should virtue be known and honored? From a man that's blind to take a burning taper, 'tis no wrong, he never misses it. But to take light from one that sees, that's injury and spite. Pray whether is religion better served, when lives are licentious are made honest, than when they still run through a sinful blood? 'Tis nothing virtue's temples to deface, but build the ruins, there's a work of grace.
I kiss thee for that spirit. Thou hast praised thy wit a modest way. On, there.
Lust is bold, and will have vengeance speak ere it be controlled.
Speak. Hast thou any sense of thy abuse? Dost thou know what wrong's done thee?
I were an ass else. I could have washed my face, but a feeling on it.
Here, take this gall trip, then convey it secretly into the place I showed you. Look you, sir, this is the trap door to it.
I know of it old. To the last triumph, here rose up a devil with one eye. I remember with a company of fireworks at his tail.
Prithee, leave squitting now. Mark me and fail not. But when thou hearest me, give a stamp. Down with it. The villain's caught then.
If I miss you, hang me. I'd love to catch a villain, and your stamp shall go current, I warrant you. But how shall I rise up and let him down too, all at one hole? That'll be a horrible puzzle. You don't have a part in it. I play slander.
True, but never make you ready for it.
No? Back closer of water and all. And a foul fiend's head with a long contumelious tongue and the chaps on it. A very fit shape for slander in the out parishes.
It shall not come so far, thou understands it not.
Oh!
He shall lie deep enough ere that time, and stick first upon those.
Now I conceive you, Gardenier.
Away. List to the privy stamp. That's all thy part.
Stab my horns in a mortar if I miss you, and give the powder in white wine to sick cuckolds, a very present remedy for the headache.
If this should in any way miscarry now, as if the fool be nimble enough, 'tis certain. The pages that present the swift winged cupids are taught to hit him with their shafts of love, which I have cunningly poisoned. Hippolito cannot escape my fury, and those ills will be laid all on fortune, not our wills. That's all the sport on't. For who will imagine that at the celebration of this night, any mischance that haps can flow from spite?
Now, our fair Duchess, all the glories bestowed upon the gladness of this night are done for your bright sake.
I am the more in debt, my lord. to loves and courtesies that offer up themselves so bounteously to do me honored grace without my merit.
Goodness set in greatness, how it sparkles far off like pure diamonds set in gold. How perfect my desires were. Might I witness but a fair, noble peace twixt your two spirits? The reconcilement would be more sweet to me than longer life to him that fears to die. Good sir,
I profess peace and am content.
I'll see the seal upon it, and then 'tis firm.
You shall have all you wish.
I have all indeed now.
But I have made surer work. This shall not blind me. He that begins so early to reprove, quickly rid him, or look for little love. Beware a brother's envy, he's next heir too. Cardinal, you die this night, the plot's laid surely. In time of sports, death may still end securely, then 'tis least thought on. For he that's most religious, holy friend, does not at all hours think upon his end. He has his times of frailty, and his thoughts their transportations too. Through flesh and blood, for all his zeal, his learning, and his light, as well as we, poor soul, that sin by night.
Sweet Duchess, take your seat. List to the argument. There is a nymph that haunts the woods and springs, in love with two at once. They with her, equal it runs. But to decide these things, the cause to mighty Juno they refer, she being the merit Duchess. The two lovers they offer sighs, the nymph sacrifice, all to please Juno, who by signs discovers how the event shall be. So the strife dies. Then springs a second, for the man refused gross discontent, and out of love abused, he raises slander up like a black fiend to dishonor the other, which pays him ere the end.
In troth, my lord, a pretty pleasing argument, and fits the occasion well. Envy and slander are things soon raised against two faithful lovers, but comfort is, they are not long unrewarded.
This music shows they're upon entrance now.
Then enter all my wishes.
To thee, fair bride, Hymen offers up of nuptial joys this the celestial cup. Taste it, and thou shalt ever find love in thy bed, peace in thy mind.
We'll taste you sure. 'Twere pity to disgrace so pretty a beginning.
Two cups of nectar have I begged from Jove. Here I give to innocence, and this to love. Take heed of stumbling more. Look to your way. Remember still the Via Lactea. In love we met, and so let's part.
But soft, here's no such persons in the argument. The actors that this model here discovers are only four: Juno, a nymph, two lovers.
This is some anti-mask belike, my lord, to entertain time. Now my piece is perfect. Let sports come on apace. Now is their time, my lord. Hark you hear 'em.
The nymph indeed.
Juno, nuptial goddess, thou that rulest o'er couples' bodies, tiest man to woman never to forsake her, thou only powerful marriage maker. Pity this amazed affection. I love both, and both love me. Oh, thou sacred goddess and queen of nuptials, daughter of great Saturn, sister and wife to Jove, imperial Juno. Pity this passionate conflict in my breast, this tedious war twixt two affections. Crown me with victory, and my heart's at peace.
Make me that happy man, thou mighty goddess.
But I live most in hope, if truest love merit the greatest comfort.
I love both with such uneven and fair affection, I know not which to speak for, which to wish for, till thy great arbitrage twixt lovers' hearts, by thy auspicious grace, design the man which pity I implore.
We all implore it.
And after sighs, contrition's truest odors, I offer to thy powerful deity this precious incense. May it ascend peacefully. And if it keep true touch, my good Aunt Juno, 'twill try your immortality ere it belong. I fear you'll never get so nigh heaven again once you're down.
Though you and your affections seem all as dark to our illustrious brightness as knight's inheritance, hell, we pity you, and your requests are granted. You ask signs, they shall be given you, will be gracious to you. He of those twain which we determined for you, love's arrow shall wound twice. The latter wound betokens love and age. For so are all whose love continues firmly all their lifetime, twice wounded at their marriage, else affection dies when youth ends. This favor overcomes me. Now for a sign of wealth and golden days, bright-eyed prosperity which all couples love, aye, and makes love, take that! Our brother Jove never denies us of his golden feather to express bounty.
She falls down to punish the. What's the conceit of that?
As overjoyed, belike? Too much prosperity overjoys us all. She has her lap full, it seems, my lord.
This swerves a little from the argument, though. Look, you lords.
All's fast. Now comes my part, to toll him hither, then with a stamp given. He's dispatched as cunningly.
Stark dead. Oh, treachery! Cruelly made away! How's that?
Look, there's one of the lovers dropped away.
Why, sure, this plot's drawn false. Here's no such thing.
I am sick to the death. Let me down quickly. This fume is deadly. Oath has poisoned me. My subtlety is sped. Her art has quitted me. My own ambition pulls me down to ruin.
Nay, then I kiss thy cold lips and applaud this thy revenge in death.
Oh, look, Juno's down too. What makes she there? Her pride should keep her aloft.
Oh, death runs through my blood, and a wild flame too. Plague of those cupids, some lay hold on 'em. Let 'em not escape. They have spoiled me. The shaft's deadly.
I have lost myself in this quite.
My great lords, we are all confounded.
How?
Dead, and I worse. Lust and forgetfulness has been amongst us, and we are brought to nothing. Some blessed charity lend me the speeding pity of his sword to quench this fire in blood. Leontio's death has brought all this upon us. Now I taste it, and made us lay plots to confound each other. The event so proves it, and man's understanding is riper at his fall than all his lifetime. Livia, in a madness for her lover's death, revealed a fearful lust in our near bloods, for which I am punished dreadfully and unlooked for. Proved her own ruin too. Vengeance met vengeance, like a set match, as if the plague of sin had been agreed to meet here all together. But how Guardiano fell, I reach not, unless caught by some spring of her own setting. For on my pain she never dreamed of dying. The plot was all her own, and she had cunning enough to save herself. But 'tis the property of guilty deeds to draw your wise men downward. Therefore the wonder ceases. Oh, this torment!
I'll guard below there.
My lord?
Run and meet death then, and cut off time and pain. Yeah!
Behold, my lord hast run his breast upon my weapon's point.
Upon the first night of our nuptial hours, destruction play her triumph, and great mischiefs mask in expected pleasures. 'Tis prodigious. There are things most fearfully ominous. I like 'em not. Guards, remove these ruined bodies from our eyes.
Not yet. No change? When falls he to the earth?
Please, but your excellence, to peruse that paper, which is a brief confession from the heart of she that fell first, ere her soul departed, and there the darkness of these deeds speaks plainly. 'Tis the full scope, the matter and intent. Her ward that ignorantly let her down, fear put to present flight at the voice of her.
Nor yet?
Read, for I am lost in sight and strength.
My noble brother.
Oh, the curse of wretchedness. My deadly hand has fallen upon my lord. Destruction take me to thee. Give me way. The pains and plagues of a lost soul upon him that hinders me a moment.
My heart swells bigger yet. Help! Here, break open. My breast flies open next.
The poison that was prepared for thee. Thee, Cardinal. 'Twas meant for thee.
Poor prince!
Accursed error. Give me thy last breath, thou infected bosom, and wrap two spirits in one poisoned vapor. Thus reward thy murderer and turn death into a parting kiss. My soul stands ready at my lips, even vexed to stay one more minute after thee.
The greatest sorrow and astonishment that ever struck the general peace of Florence dwells in this hour.
So my desires are satisfied. I feel death's power within me. Thou hast prevailed in something, cursed poison. Though thy chief force was spent in my lord's bosom, but my deformities and spirits more foul. A blemished face best fits a leper soul. And what make I here? These are all strangers to me. Not known by their malice, now they're gone, nor do I seek their pities.
Oh, restrain her ignorant, willful hand!
Now do. 'Tis done. Leontio, now I feel the breach of marriage at my heart breaking. Oh, the deadly snares that women set for women, without pity either to soul or honor. Let me die to know learn by me to know your foes. In this belief I die. Like our own sex, we have no enemy. No enemy.
See, my lord, what shift she has made to be her own destruction.
Pride, greatness, honors, beauty, youth, ambition. You must all down together. There's no help for it. Yet this my gladness is, that I remove, tasting the same death in a cup of love. Oh!
Sin, what thou art, these ruins show too piteously. Two kings on one throne cannot sit together, but one must needs down, for his title's wrong. So where lust reigns, that prince cannot reign long.